Chapter 1153. Did I see wrongly? The veteran esports fan sent a message hesitantly, thinking that no one would reply. Then, someone replied silently. I think I saw it too. Is it Billion God? Soon. The conversation between the veteran esports fans was rushed up, and the other esports fans did not notice their conversation. And the netizens who came to join in the fun did not know who Billion God was. Wang Kai's wife is so handsome. Brother Kai's comic is tearing her apart. Faced with the brainless praises of this group of fans, the rest of the fans turned off their microphones in order not to attract criticism. However, the esports fans could not stand it anymore. Oh. Do you have eyes? Song Yao is sitting beside you. Who are you calling a beauty? Song Yao's fans are only of this standard? Even a senior wants to scam her? Are all fans like this now? She's ugly and greasy to begin with, but they don't even let people say it? Are you crazy? Are Song Yao's fans so bold? How could Song Yao be scolded like that by you? Song Yao's fans who were watching the screen were speechless. Oh. Everyone still remembered the fight between Song Yao's fans and Wang Kai's fans a few days ago. However, because Song Yao had few fans, Song Yao was scolded very badly by Wang Kai's fans. Words like chasing girls, green tea bitches seducing their brothers, get out of the entertainment industry flooded Song Yao's comment section. However, Song Yao had always been in a good mood and did not care much. She did not tell Bei Yunji either. Some passers-by felt their hearts ache, especially when they found out that Song Yao had been preparing for the college entrance examination. Although Song Yao had a pure and innocent face, she had never caused trouble, and did not like to talk to male actors from the same crew. As a result, the fans suspected that Song Yao was not interested in men. Until some time ago, the paparazzi took a photo of Wang Kai hugging Song Yao. Song Yao was scolded until she lost 2 endorsements that she had signed with much difficulty. The preparations for the competition. Wang Kai seemed to be finally able to hold his head high. He smiled confidently and did not forget to glance at Bei Yunji, who was not far away, with a disdainful expression. After that, Wang Kai borrowed an account from an esports player he was close to and logged into the competition venue. It was a hot topic. F***CK, Brother Kai is using HK Team Kaka's account. They actually know each other? Wang Kai is indeed awesome just by looking at his appearance. He actually managed to borrow Kaka's account. The esports fans commented from the side, and Wang Kai's fans did not forget to step on Song Yao. Song Yao is so good at sticking to others. Did she stick to any esports player? Get someone to give her an account, confused. Are you Wang Chong fans sick? It's none of your business whose account Song Yao borrowed. I'm dying of laughter. Song Yao's fans have such foul mouths. Who said that they are Wang Kai's fans? Don't randomly give me your fan status. Under the discussion, Wang Kai even asked Song Yao generously. Do you know any professional players? If he used his private account, it was unlikely that he would be able to PK him. It's okay if you don't have it, I can. Private accounts are good too. Thank you. Song Yao only thanked him casually. After a while, she suddenly remembered something. The last time she begged Bei Yunji to help her level up, Bei Yunji even secretly changed her ID. Her name was especially coquettish, Master Pei's little fairy. Song Yao was speechless. Soon, Bei Yunji, who was in the first row, received Song Yao's message. Sister Yao Yunji? Sister Yao, do you have an account for me? Bei Yunji reacted for a moment before she remembered what she had done last time. The moment Bei Yunji looked up, she saw Song Yao looking at her expressionlessly. Chapter 1154. Bei Yunji immediately replied. Yunji, yes. Bei Yunji handed her account and password to Song Yao. At this moment, Wang Kai, who had been rejected, laughed coldly and crossed his arms, waiting for Song Yao to make a fool of herself. The other actresses in the production team asked the esports players on the spot to borrow an account. Only Song Yao was extremely arrogant. He wanted to see what kind of low-level account Song Yao was going to take out. Song Yao still didn't know what account she had and had never played with Bei Yunji. However, under Wang Kai's dazzling display, the other people in the production team borrowed the accounts of some small teams and were not eye-catching. Everyone was not interested. In the next moment, Song Yao logged in according to her account and password. Suddenly, the special entrance effect of a full-level account appeared on the screen. Because the venue was meticulously prepared, it was almost a half-projected 3D scene. It was cool and shocking. Welcome, earn 100 million first, to the team competition. Many people who did not know this nickname subconsciously looked at the win rate. Win rate, 100%. A full-level account actually had a 100% win rate. Everyone's hair stood on end. F***ck. I'm not dreaming. A full-level big boss? Kaka doesn't seem to have reached the maximum level yet. F***ck. 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 It's 100 million God's account. It's 100 million God. Song Yao is awesome. Someone can F***king get 100 million God's account? How did they do it? At this time, Wang Kai's fans made a few sour remarks at the wrong time. TSK, the tea master is amazing. How else can you get it? You can just go to bed. However, as soon as these words fell, the effect was far beyond everyone's imagination. Although 100 million God's fans were casual, they had a surprisingly large base and immediately defeated Wang Kai's fans. Looking at your brother's dissected face every day, did you get high? Who doesn't know that my 100 million God is a girl? Ha 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 ha, 100 million God. If your brother wants to get the number he loves, he can only get to Neely. Don't be offended by my noble and cold 100 million God. Thank you. F***ck. In order to get 100 million God's account, did you make it real? Cold and lofty God chasing after his wife. I've already come up with a novel about forbidden love. It's much better than that CEO's forbidden love. Don't knock anymore, knock more. 18th tier little white flower female, star X popular esports god. If Sister Yao can get Ishan to come out for a competition today, I'm willing to grit my teeth and watch her drama to the end. That way, I'll be able to offer a meager viewership rating. Plus 10086. This was the first time Wang Yifan had been scolded into silence. She clearly realized that this billion deity was in existence that could not be provoked. Although many people on the internet didn't like to be a couple, they could tell that Ishan might really have a good relationship with Song Yao. Otherwise, he wouldn't have borrowed her account. Therefore, he turned a blind eye to the couple's behavior. However, the situation was out of control. What's the situation? Song, where did you get a max level account? The female lead beside her was also stunned. Song Yao was speechless. She did not expect that Bei Yunj would give her a max level account. It was even, earn 100 million first, which was currently popular in the esports industry. Song Yao did not dare to look up at Bei Yunj. She only saw from the corner of her eye that Bei Yunj was sleeping while avoiding the camera. However, she could not sleep well because the screams in the venue were rising and falling. It's 100 million God. I'm going crazy. No one thought that an ordinary esports celebrity show would be able to get hold of 100 million God's account. Chapter 1155. Sister Yao is awesome. Someone below the stage shouted excitedly. Song Yao, who was unaware of the situation, was speechless. Sister Yao, please let Billion God out for a competition. Sister Yao, has Billion God stayed at your house? Someone suddenly asked. In the end, someone started to kick up a fuss. Song Yao was speechless. Not only did he stay at my house, he was even sitting in the first row to watch the competition. Sister Yao, pull Billion God out for a competition. I'm willing to watch your new drama 10 times. I'll open 10 computers for you to watch. I can book an internet cafe for you to watch. At this moment, everyone in the production team finally realized what top-tier popularity was. However, Wang Kai's expression was extremely ugly. He never thought that Song Yao would get Billion God's account. Someone in the live stream reacted. I think I saw Billion God just now. He's in the front row. Me too. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Everyone begged the cameraman in the live stream to take pictures of the first row. Unfortunately, the cameraman did not watch the live stream. Billion God's fans were so angry that they howled. At this moment, the director was also confused. Who is Billion God? The screenwriter rolled his eyes. A super godly esports big shot. Although he doesn't play much, he's very popular and is comparable to Almighty Qin. Besides, Billion God's popularity overseas is much higher than in China. She's the top player in Continent K. She's that good. The director was shocked. The screenwriter laughed coldly. Let me tell you, if Song Yao comes out of the closet one day, she'll say that she's with Billion God. Do you believe that this godly drama of yours will explode 360 degrees? The director was speechless. On stage, the two teams of esports players opposite were also silent. F***CK, Billion God's account. Who dared to move? Can we still play? Someone asked carefully and hesitantly. If they did something to Song Yao, would Billion God activate the maps of the gods overnight and chase after them with a knife? These words were recorded, but no one in the live stream blamed the contestant for wanting to go easy on them. Ha 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 ha, Sister Yao has become a god. She has Billion God behind her. You can't blame the contestant. Billion God is famous for protecting his people, ha ha ha. Don't be afraid, brother. Go and cut down Billion God's win rate now. Then start the live stream and let Billion God kill you. The live stream will definitely. Do you understand the code of wealth? That's the money you earn from licking your wounds. Damn, the sisters above are so ruthless. Ha ha ha. Now that I think about it, I think Billion God is spoiling girls. Who would be willing to borrow a 100% win rate? Finally, the match began. Even the organizers did not expect that the live stream was almost paralyzed. Thus, they discussed having the pro players and artists mix and match. They could also ask for outside help. Hearing this, everyone started to contact external help. The person Wang Kai invited was Xiaoji, which attracted a lot of attention. But after all, the 100 million god had appeared before them, so they weren't that surprised. However, Song Yao was hesitating. She did not want Bei Yunj to owe someone a favor for her. However, not long after, suddenly, someone sent her a message, and a dialogue box appeared on the screen. HK Team Yoi. This person from Ishin's family? Do you need external help? How about me? Everyone was shocked. Wasn't this the captain of HK Team? However, before they could calm down, another big shot came to ask. RS Team, Daicheng. Miss Song Yao, do you need external help? I can take you flying too next. Song Yao was pulled into the group chat. It was filled with the top big shots in the industry. RS Team Gen Brothers don't fight. There are several competitions. Everyone is here to gain face with Billion God. There's no need to make things so awkward, right? P.S. Good night, end of this chapter. Chapter 1156. When the other players saw the ferocious comments in the Big Shots group, they were even more shocked. They were already big shots at this level. Didn't they think of being human? And each of them even went to Ishin to show their faces? The live stream was also laughing so hard that they almost stopped breathing. I really didn't expect my big boss Jian to become a lackey captain one day. Why do I feel like laughing so much? F***CK, the big boss is playing with her? What kind of dream is this of a billion esports fans? Boo-hoo, Yao Yao has done well. She actually got Ishin. I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. Yao Yao suddenly turned into a queen and chose a big boss to play with. Ishin, if you pamper people so much, you'll really fall into the hands of a woman. You'll fall into the hands of a woman. Ha 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 ha, I'm convinced. This made Wang Kai's fans so angry that their hearts hurt. Indeed. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai's fans turned off their microphones. Even Song Yao's manager, who was waiting in the RV, accidentally clicked on Song Yao's personal account and found that something was wrong. It was still 10.5 million yesterday, but now it had risen to 16 million. And it was still breaking through. It had only been a few hours. Song Yao's manager reacted and immediately clicked into the comments section, where Song Yao had been scolded badly. She did not expect the situation to change, and the hot comments to be about Song Yao and Ishin. What's the relationship between Song Yao and Ishin? Song Yao's manager was still confused. Scrolling down to read the comments. Not only were there happy comments from Ishin's fans, but there were also Wang Kai's fans who had come to scold Song Yao previously. They were torn apart by Yishun's fans and did not dare to retort. Yishun's friendship, love, will be protected by us. No. Sister Yao, please do me a favor and let Yishun come out to play a competition. I haven't seen Father Yi for a long time. Boo-hoo. This person from Yishun's family seduced your brother? A C-list celebrity is also trying to seduce my top esports girl? Confused, Song Yao's manager's eyes were unfocused. She suddenly felt that this world had become unfamiliar. At the same time, on stage, with the big boss leading them, the team members who had teamed up with Song Yao were indeed winning. However, what they did not expect was that halfway through the competition, Daicheng and Kaka were fighting. She did not know what Wang Kai was thinking, but he was chasing after Song Yao. Although Song Yao's skills were not bad, she was indeed not as good as Wang Kai, who had almost entered the second team. Billion God's chances of winning were cut down. The viewers in the live stream were heartbroken, and they were all scolding Wang Kai. What's wrong with Wang Kai? Why is he chasing after Yao Mei? No way, no way. Hacking Yishun's account can satisfy his pleasure? Esports fans were more or less biased. After all, in their hearts, Yishun was an unparalleled big shot, just like Almighty Qin. Especially when she saw Wang Kai apologizing with a greasy smile, while hitting Song Yao. So what if you're 100 million gods? Not even a little touch. Those who play esports can't even afford it. What a joke. Who is the one who can't afford to play? You don't dare to provoke other esports players. Is it very impressive to chase after female celebrities? After the competition, it was easy for Daicheng to crush Kaka, but Song Yao was also tortured badly. According to the points, Song Yao's team lost this round. Song Yao, follow me later, Daicheng said indifferently. Song Yao smiled faintly. No need. If she followed Daicheng would take people's heads to destroy the tower and protect her. She would lose this round even more. Daicheng said nothing. When the next round started, Daicheng tried his best to control the time and kill Kaka as soon as possible. Chapter 1157. However, Daicheng was also a little angry. He wanted to kill Wang Kai first, but Kaka kept pestering him. It seemed like the two of them weren't trying to win, but they were trying to increase Billion God's win rate. He did not know who they were trying to discuss. And Billion God's mission for them was to win with Song Yao. Seeing that Billion God's win rate had dropped to 99%, Billion God's fans almost exploded. However, the people in the first row only looked at the screen calmly. Song Yao's team still had a high chance of winning. It was currently 2-1. Song Yao, if you can't do it, come and hide with me. Daicheng did not forget to tell Song Yao. Song Yao responded and could only deal with Wang Kai, who was sticking to her. But 10 minutes later, no one expected Song Yao to suddenly use a skill when Wang Kai was not paying attention, and the two of them ended the competition together. F***ck, she's not bad. She's a little familiar with Billion God. With an innocent and harmless face, she did the most ruthless thing. She's indeed someone who was taught by Billion God. Yes, after all, Wang Kai was a trainee before. It's already good that he managed to draw. Sigh. I was originally a passerby fan of Wang Kai, but now his actions are disgusting. In this round, Song Yao actually did not have an easy time, and Wang Kai's expression was a little ugly. It was obvious that he did not expect Song Yao to play this move so recklessly. However, with Song Yao getting rid of Wang Kai, Daicheng still won. The venue was filled with cheers. Sister Yao is so strong. Someone shouted to cheer Song Yao on. Seeing this, the people in the first row who were pulling their hats to cover their eyes unconsciously smirked lazily, and mouthed two words to Song Yao. Not bad. Song Yao was a little embarrassed. As for the others, many of them still felt their hearts ache when they saw the soft girl perish together. So suddenly someone shouted at the top of his lungs. Billion God, can you do it or not? Are you going to watch your wife be tortured? Bei Yunj was speechless. Then, the originally angry atmosphere was instantly amused, and became much more harmonious. No one was sure if Billion God was present. They just wanted to trick him. However, what no one noticed was that a few minutes later, the people in the first row lazily put on their jackets, lowered their caps, and walked towards the door. Song Yao glanced in the direction Bei Yunj had left in. and didn't think much about it. She prepared to rest for a while before playing the next round. Backstage. Song, I'm a fan of 100 Million Gods. Can I get 100 Million Gods' contact number? The female lead asked excitedly. Song Yao hesitated. I'll go back and ask? Oh really? Thank you Song. The female lead's eyes lit up. When the others heard this, they immediately rushed forward to ask about it. Song Yao was tight-lipped and knew how to protect Bei Yunji's identity. She smiled gently and changed the topic quietly, until he returned to the stage. Originally, Jian had rushed to go on stage, and wanted to lead Song Yaofei. However, just before they formed a team, Song Yao suddenly saw a message request. User XCYGY, requests to join the team battle. It was an account with no level. Before Song Yao could react, there were already excited screams from below the stage. 100 million gods. Song Yao regained her senses, and found that the first letter was the spelling of, earn 100 million first. The live stream exploded. F*CK. Is 100 million gods really present? Isn't this spelling of 100 million gods? Ha 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 ha. Then isn't Wang Kai done for? Chapter 1158. Are Wang Kai's fans ready? Oh, I'm going to die. Billion God is really here. Sob, the woman at the top of the food chain in the esports scene. More and more people were watching the live stream. Even hashtag SongYao hashtag BillionGod hashtag had rushed to the top of the trending searches. Then half of the esports scene had mobilized to watch Billion God's live stream competition. Wang Kai's expression was ugly and his hand holding the mouse trembled weakly. Even if he had left the industry, he knew Billion God's status in the industry. But, was it really Billion God? At this moment, Song Yao also hesitated for a moment before sending a message to XCYGY. Where are you? After typing this sentence, Song Yao deleted it and sent another sentence. What's wrong with you? The people in the live stream were scratching their lungs as they looked at the dialogue box. In the internet cafe, Pei Yunji casually threw her jacket to the side and threw the plastic bag to the side, typing slowly. I have to be good. I can't watch my family get beaten up. The moment this message was sent, Song Yao could almost imagine this person's nonsensical look. However, because Bei Yunji was responding to what she had just said, there was another wave of excited screams. Did Billion God know how to joke in private? However, in everyone's eyes, when Billion God got together with a soft girl like Song Yao, it was like Billion God was bullying Sister Yao every day. But it was actually a little flirtatious. Song Yao gathered her thoughts and glanced at the others. She asked politely, can she be external help? Everyone was speechless. This was like a F*King 360-degree spiral into the sky, alright? However, there were also people who were worried. Billion God has created a new account. Isn't the difference in levels too big? There's no need to look down on her. After all, Kaka is still very good. Billion God's actions are a little funny. Then Song Yao connected the microphone. She tried to ask, is the new account okay? However, the voice on the other end that had been adjusted with a voice changer sounded. You can't say that I can't. Song Yao was speechless. The live stream was dying of laughter. Ha 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 ha. Billion God is making a public scandal. Reported. Sister Yao. I'm speechless. Song Yao's eyelid twitched. She was a little worried that Bei Yunji would lose her reputation in this round. I'm serious. There are professional players on the other side too. That person's languid voice rang out. Do you still need to see who the other party is before you come here to cause trouble? After saying this, the atmosphere immediately exploded. My Ishan Shui is cracking. It's burning. I'm Ishan. The competition was about to begin. Wang Kai took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He didn't believe that someone could use a smurf account to compete with a pro player who was close to max level. Thinking of this, Wang Kai also stared at Bei Yunji, a strange light flashing in his eyes. As long as he could kill Billion God in this round, he would definitely attract a lot of attention. He could even get the company to buy trending searches and trample on the worshipped $1 billion god, gaining more attention and popularity. Meanwhile, Compared to Dai Cheng and the rest who were present just now, Song Yao ran to Bei Yunji's side very naturally. Ha 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 ha, Sister Yao is cozying up to him openly. She was still cold to God Dai just now. Now that Billion God is back, Sister Yao changed. I don't believe that there's nothing fishy about this. Seeing Song Yao using Billion God's account to ask for the protection of a level 0 account, the scene was inexplicably funny. Chapter 1159. When Wang Kai saw this scene, he sneered. He was operating his character to deal with the others nearby first. But 3 minutes later, XCYGY easily got the first kill of Kaka. The strongest esports player in the team was as easy as cutting a cabbage in this person's hands. It made the other opponent's hair stand on end. F***CK. What kind of walking head harvester was this? F***CK, 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 F***CK. The first kill of Kaka, who is almost at the maximum level in 3 minutes? Is he F***King cheating? Billion God's basic operation, sit down. Ha 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 ha, Billion God YYDS. Billion God. That's it? Okay, everyone can watch what it means to really bring a girl to play. We've earned it, we've earned it. A celebrity can actually see Billion God. Following that, what was displayed on the screen was a level 0 account slowly harvesting heads. It looked like there was no pressure at all. It was as if the battlefield was her home ground. As for everyone, they were so shocked that their blood was boiling when they saw Billion God's operation. This was a true level 0 account crushing the entire field and beating them with her strength. But soon everyone realized the problem. The last person left was Wang Kai, the warrior who had chased after Song Yao in the previous 2 rounds. Wang Kai was so nervous that his hand holding the mouse was sweating. At this moment, after Bei Yunji finished the last hit, he turned to look at Wang Kai. He asked slowly, "Friend, I heard that you're very good at killing people?" Wang Kai was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. His mind was in a mess and his back turned cold. Obviously, Billion God was here to support Song Yao. Ha 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 ha, Billion God, it's too obvious that you're holding a grudge. Light an incense for warrior Wang Kai. It's been a long time since someone was remembered by Billion God like this. I actually got to eat Billion God's candy in my lifetime. Then Bei Yunji threw away the weapon with great lethality, and casually picked up a low-level weapon. Wang Kai gritted his teeth and made up his mind. He planned to fight it out with Bei Yunji like Song Yao. No matter what, it was a slap to Billion God's face. However, what he did not expect was that Bei Yunji's maneuvering was even faster. After one move, he was left with low HP and was unable to use high-level skill points. Kaka, who was watching from the side, felt his scalp go numb. He remembered the half a minute when Bei Yunji destroyed his team. Billion God was still Billion God. He was not human at all. What's the rush? You're not in a hurry to die. Bei Yunji's tone was leisurely, as if he was teasing her, but there was no warmth in his voice. Next, everyone saw that Bei Yunji had only dealt a small amount of damage to Wang Kai. This wasn't a killing, it was a mental attack. Bei Yunji only spared Wang Kai in such a big public place. He slowly cut him down bit by bit. On the other side, Wang Kai's face alternated between red and green. His hands gripped the keyboard, and his whole body trembled with anger. The fans in the livestream also began to curse. What does Billion God mean? Just because he was a pro player, he dared to humiliate an artist like this? Do you have any manners? Confused. Isn't this a little too intolerant? Was this how the almighty of the esports scene felt? You are openly targeting Wang Kai. However, Billion God's fans had long been displeased with Wang Kai, because his win rate had been cut. Is the person chasing after Song Yao a dog? Confused. You don't have to care about the esports scene. When Billion God was fighting for the country, your brother was probably still repairing his face in the factory. It's good that you know this is the esports scene. Here, noobs are the original sin. P.S. Good night. Can I get some monthly votes from the little kid today? Chapter 1160. Most of Wang Kai's fans did not know how many fans Yishin had. However, at this moment, seeing Yishin's fans flooding the livestream, they felt at a loss. They knew that they had provoked a big shot. Then Bai Yunj slowly hacked for more than 10 minutes before he completely sent Wang Kai away. It was a crushing victory. In the next round, Bai Yunj repeated the operation again. Wang Kai was so angry that he almost threw his mouse and left, but the director immediately stopped him and persuaded him. If his relationship with Yishin really became strained, it would be impossible for him to establish an esports persona in the future. Wang Kai took a deep breath and could only endure it. Someone in the live stream could not help but sigh. Yishin is really arrogant. There's no choice. Many people like him. It's human nature to admire the strong. When Yishin was playing professionally, even his opponent's boss came to support Yishin. This is top-notch status. Yishin is lawless. Yishin is lawless plus 10,086. You're so lousy, yet you blame your girlfriend for dragging you down. Come and take a good look. Yishin is leading the entire team alone. To be honest, it feels so good to be led by Yishin. As long as the girl is hurt, Yishin will cripple her. This esports friendship is damn sweet. After 3 rounds, Wang Kai's expression was ugly, and he went straight to Song Yao's lounge to apologize to her. Song Yao raised her eyebrows in surprise. Then, she saw Bai Yunj leaning against the door from the corner of her eye. Got it. You can go back. Song Yao replied politely and politely. After Wang Kai left, she was silent for a moment. You, Yishin? Song Yao also played maps of the gods and knew what kind of big shot Yishin was in the esports scene. However, she never thought that Yishin would be by her side. He was even willing to help her level up without any complaints. Bai Yunj rubbed the back of his fair neck, and did not meet Song Yao's gaze. I think so. Song Yao was speechless. The atmosphere fell silent again. If you tell me one day that you are, I might not be surprised, Song Yao said slowly. It was hard to tell if she was angry. Bai Yunj was speechless. Song Yao had always been very interested in her. The reason was none other than because she had been the person who had recommended her. If Bai Yunj had not stopped her, Song Yao might have wanted to learn computing and be closer to him. Bai Yunj hummed and quickly changed the topic. Wait a moment. My brother is coming to find me. Song Yao did not need to think to know which brother it was. However, Bai Yunj still asked, Shall we have a meal together? Song Yao was speechless. We'll see. If your brother comes, you can leave with him first. Song Yao really thought so. But Bai Yunj stayed because she did not know if Song Yao was angry just now. After the competition, Bai Yunj also sat in the first row with her eyes closed. She crossed her arms lazily, and was about to fall asleep. Song Yao had just sat on Bai Yunj's left when she realized that there was a man sitting on Bai Yunj's right. Under the dim lights, the man's pale-colored eyes were emotionless, but his outstanding looks made people unable to look away. He looked at Bai Yunj, who was beside her, with a lazy expression. His well-defined hand was carrying the bag of snacks for Bai Yunj. Bai Yunj's hand was still hooked around the plastic bag, and she did not realize that the weight was wrong. Suddenly, Bai Yunj leaned his head towards Song Yao. He leaned on her shoulder steadily. Song Yao felt Huashida's gaze shift. In the next moment, Song Yao reached out her index finger and gently tapped Bai Yunj's forehead, pushing it in the opposite direction. Bai Yunj leaned on the man's shoulder again. Chapter 1161. Song Yao tugged at her cloak and left silently. It was only then that the people around noticed that a handsome and dignified man had suddenly appeared. He had actually carried Song Yao's bad-tempered friend up. Everyone's eyes widened. Was this the official CP? Was this the official CP? In the man's arms, the girl, whose face could not be seen clearly, placed her slender and fair wrist lazily on the man's shoulder, and looked up at him with sleepy eyes. Where are my snacks? Hoshida laughed angrily. Sung-Soo took them. The man exuded a faint and unique cold fragrance. There was also the smell of tobacco that had faded. It was gentle and voodoo. His warmth spread from his chest, making her heart throb uncontrollably. Bai Yunj's eyes were clouded, but a possessive emotion suddenly surged in her mind. She did not want Huashidu to hug someone else like this again. Bai Yunj rarely had such intimate contact with Huashidu, especially in public. Although she enjoyed the steadiness of this hug, she gradually woke up from her drowsiness. She looked up and saw the man's clean and well-defined jawline. His Adam's apple protruded sexily and her heart beat faster unconsciously. "Brother, you'd better put me down." Although Bei Yunj noticed that Sung Su's expression was numb and natural, she felt inexplicably awkward. For the first time, a certain someone, who was used to not being a person, felt guilty. Huashidu had always respected Bei Yunj's wishes, so he agreed. However, for some reason, Bei Yunj felt that the man's attitude towards her today was indifferent. Bei Yunj hesitated for a moment. She was about to go up and hold the sleeve of his suit when the man avoided her intentionally. Bei Yunj was speechless. Did this D*MN man have eyes on the back of his head? However, in the next second, Bei Yunj received Song Yao's message and opened it. "Sister Yao, your brother's gaze is too scary bitter." For the first time, Song Yao met death's gaze. Yunj, it's already the greatest respect for me if he doesn't go out and seduce others." Bei Yunj had always felt that Huashidu had a polite gentleness to everyone. To put it in layman terms, that D*MN man seemed to be attracted to everyone. "Sister Sheikh, you're wrong. Little Sister Yao, if you keep this attitude, you'll be eaten by your brother until not even your bones are left." Although Song Yao didn't have much experience, it was her first time meeting a man like Huashidu. He looked like he didn't care about anything, but it seemed like only Bei Yunj was present. His gaze was always on her. Furthermore, when Bei Yunj leaned against her shoulder just now, Song Yao could almost feel how scary the man's gaze was. If she was a man, Song Yao had no doubt that Huashidu would cripple her. The corners of Bei Yunj's eyes twitched when she saw the message. What a mess. "Sister Yao, don't treat a wolf like a puppy. There are differences between wolves and dogs." The way he looked at Bei Yunj was full of possessiveness. However, Bei Yunj still flirted with her every day. He wasn't afraid that he wouldn't have anything to regret when the time came. Song Yao's persuasion was meaningless. Bei Yunj, who had nothing to do every day and flirted with others, turned off her phone again. She looked at the man's slender and good-looking back for a while, and the smile on her lips was a little familiar. Before the man could react, he suddenly heard a soft sound from behind, accompanied by Bei Yunj's voice. The man turned around instinctively, but someone bumped into him. Chapter 1162. Huashidu instinctively reached out to hold her arm. When he looked up, he saw her looking at him with a smile. His tone was lazy. "What are you doing? Are you trying to scam me?" "No." The corners of Bei Yunj's lips curled up as she stood on tiptoes to look at him. "I'm touching you, brother." Beside him, Sing Su's eyelid twitched. Miss Yunja's flirting skills were really not bad at all. However, it was obvious that something was wrong with Huashidu today. He was about to let go when Bei Yunj grabbed his hand tightly. The man stared at her for a while before he gave in, and let her hold his hand as they went downstairs. However, the moment they went downstairs, someone called Huashidu. Bei Yunj could only hear the man's low voice as he answered the person on the phone calmly. "I'll look for you in a few days." Okay." The man didn't say anything, but Bei Yunj let go of Huashidu's hand and sat in the front passenger seat to wait for him. Huashidu looked at her from the corner of his eye. He was about to sit in the main driver's seat and bring Bei Yunj out for dinner. However, he saw Bei Yunj leaning against the car window, her fingertips tapping against the window as her beautiful eyes stared straight at him. The man was indeed the most eye-catching person in the crowd. Today, the man was wearing a black suit as usual, but he was wearing an azure cotton shirt inside. He loosened 2 buttons lazily to reveal his collarbone, making his skin look dazzling. As he spoke on the phone, he slowly glanced at her from the corner of his eyes. The way he raised his eyebrows was inexplicably sexy and flirtatious. "Sit properly and behave yourself." Huashidu was obviously not talking to the person on the phone. He was talking to her. The person on the other end of the line was silent for a moment. In the next second, Bei Yunj suddenly smiled and stuck half of her body out of the car window. She leaned close to the man and raised an eyebrow, asking arrogantly, "Huashidu, who are you talking to?" Beside her, Sung Su looked at Bei Yunj with the words, "I'm up to no good," written all over his face. Miss Pei was lawless. Yu Hanran was silent for a moment. "That ancestor of yours?" She even called Huashidu by his full name. She was really spoiled by Huashidu. The man chuckled and glanced at her. Yes, I'm not your ancestor. Just now, Yu Hanran was discussing asking Huashidu to help persuade the two elders of the Yu family to arrange a blind date for Yu Manran. If this matter continued to brew, Yu Manran might really cut ties with the Yu family. Bei Yunj felt that the other party had mentioned her on the phone, so she silently prepared to retreat. But in the next moment, let's talk next time. I still have something to do, Huashidu said casually and hung up the phone. He then hugged her slender waist again. It easily fixed the person in place. He couldn't retreat even if he wanted to. Huashidu threw his phone into his pocket. The corners of his seductive eyes curled up. Bei Yunj could also feel the man's fingers rubbing against her waist inch by inch. It was extremely ambiguous. You want to go back without doing anything? Are you a tortoise? Bei Yunj. From the corner of her eye, Bei Yunj could already feel the gazes of the people around her. You. Bei Yunj's heart was beating like a drum. She was a little stiff. The corners of the man's thin red lips curled up. His low laughter carried an ambiguous heat as it landed on her ears. You're so thin-skinned, little kid. Huashidu was in a good mood. He reached out and pinched the little girl's cheek. Pei Qian's face was burning red. Then, Huashidu held the car window with one hand and watched Bei Yunj sit back down before returning to the driver's seat. Chapter 1163. When Bei Yunj and Huashidu left, Song Yao was standing at the door and saw what had happened. Song Yao sighed softly. It was hopeless. Old Madame Hua was happy for an entire week that Bei Yunj was the top scholar in the country. However, not long after, everyone saw old Madame Hua happily wanting to bring Bei Yunj out. Beside him, Sung Su wanted to say something but hesitated. In the past few days, Master Du had specially assigned work to accompany Miss Pei out to play. Grandma, Union doesn't have time. Huashidu hung up and turned to look at her. What do you mean? Gu. Or doesn't want to go out with me? With that said, old Madame Hua turned to look at Bei Yunj, wanting to get confirmation. Bei Yunj rubbed her long hair at the back of her head. She had always been very patient with the older generation. Not really. Look, Gu wants to go out with me too. Old Madame Hua was very arrogant and disdainful. If she doesn't go out with me, what's the point of going out with a man like you? Huashidu was speechless. Auntie Miao's eyelids twitched. Usually, the old madam was very smart and knew not to let others abduct Miss Pei. Why was she so confused when Miss Pei finally finished her college entrance examination and could have a good time with Mr. Hua? Old madam, why don't you let Miss Pei accompany you for a while? Auntie Miao hurriedly said. No. I'm going to take Gu shopping to watch the concert today. I've already prepared the tickets. Old Madame Hua insisted. Bei Yunj's fingertips slowly rubbed the skin under her eyes. All right, when are we going out? Hearing this, old Madame Hua was overjoyed. Look, Gu is much more filial than you. Huashidu was speechless. Bei Yunj went upstairs to change her clothes. When she came down, she found that Huashidu was the only one in the living room. Brother, aren't you going to work overtime? Bei Yunj asked casually. The man hummed faintly. At this moment, Bei Yunj suddenly reacted. Could it be that Huashidu was not preparing to go to work and was planning to accompany her? Bei Yunj was speechless. Not long after, Bei Yunj sat on the edge of the sofa with one hand in front of him. She leaned into the man's ear and asked with a smile. Big brother, will you pick me and Grandma up for dinner tonight? Huashidu could tell that the young lady was trying to coax him. He stretched out his hand lazily and pinched her chin. Suppressing the ripples in his eyes, he whispered in her ear, his voice slightly hoarse and seductive. You're not allowed to coax her later. Otherwise, she'll take you to the old mansion again. His child was good at everything, but he was used to the unreasonable behavior of the older generation. It was the first time Bei Yunj had seen Huashidu suffer. She suppressed the smile on her face. Okay. Huashidu looked at the girl who was in front of him. The faint fragrance on her body made one's imagination run wild. He could not help but rub his fingers against her lips and caress them ambiguously. Bei Yunj paused and heard him chuckle softly. Don't coax others. Coax me more. In the car. I say, sure Du is getting more and more petty. Isn't it just asking Gu or to accompany me out to play? Why didn't he come out to send me off? Old Madame Hu muttered and turned around to ask, Gur, why don't you come to the old mansion with me after the concert? Sung Su, who was driving, was speechless. Didn't the old madam understand that if this continued, her family would be in danger? Chapter 1164. Hearing that it was Teacher Wen's voice, Pei Yunj was silent for a moment. No. Then you don't want to take a look? Teacher Wen hinted frantically. However, unexpectedly, the other party did not say anything at first. Not long after, she laughed lazily. Old one, there's no need to cast a lifetime of shadow over my dear classmates at such a happy age of 18, right? She was still the one who was arrogant. Teacher Wen, all the teachers in charge. Teacher Wen could not help but ask, are you really not afraid that you will not perform well? Pei Yunj was silent for a moment, and then used the base of her palm to gently press her closed eyes. Old one, I hope you understand that I have a high fever, not that my brain is fried. Teacher Wen. At this moment the atmosphere became even more strange and cold. Finally, when he hung up the phone, Teacher Wen still hadn't recovered from the shock. He felt like he was floating. And Pei Yunj also got out of bed, ready to wash up. Downstairs, old Master Qin was still drinking tea and playing cards with his mahjong partners. Old Su, don't you think that the National Politics University can build a few more buildings? Old Master Qin hinted frantically. Principal Su, what do you want to do? Something happened to my granddaughter in the college entrance examination. She had a high fever and didn't perform well. It was also the first time that old Master Qin had shamelessly asked for help. After all, the universities that Qin Lu and the others went to were either Nili University or Yunqing University. No. Absolutely not. Principal Su immediately refused. He wondered why this old fox asked him to play cards every day. After so many twists and turns, it turned out that he was waiting here. The University of Political Science and Law of a Nation was one of the top law schools in the country. As the principal, if he used his position for personal gain, wouldn't he be stepping on the reputation of the University of Political Science and Law and crazily testing the edge of danger? Principal Su rolled his eyes. As long as you can do it, don't make things difficult for me. The most I can do is to get you some privileges and points, but it won't be much. After that, Principal Su sensed that something was wrong again. No, I heard that the admissions team of Beichuan and Yunqing University specially went to look for your granddaughter. How could she not do well in the exam? As soon as he finished speaking, one of the two mahjong partners next to him pinched his thigh, and the other gave him a look to hint. Why didn't this old Su listen to any gossip? Sure enough, old Master Qin was silent for a moment, then said lightly, Old Su, my granddaughter's name is Pei Yunj. You've been in Nili for the past 2 years, so you still don't know the situation. Hearing this, Principal Su immediately quietened down. After living for so long, who wouldn't be a smart person? As for the other two, they felt that it was a pity. Qin Youjiao's excellence in all aspects back then was obvious to everyone in the circle. It was a pity that she was not the biological daughter of the Qin family. She lost because she did not reincarnate well. Suddenly, a voice from the other side of the door broke into their conversation. Dad, do you have to be so biased? Old Master Qin turned his head and found that it was Mother Qin. His face sank and he was more or less on guard. What are you doing here? These few days, the last thing he wanted was for Mother Qin to appear at the old mansion and use Qin Youjiao's score to provoke Pei Yunj. After all, Mother Qin was Pei Yunj's biological mother. Old Master Qin was afraid that Pei Yunj would be upset. However, what Old Master Qin could think of was exactly what Mother Qin was thinking. However, the difference was that Mother Qin came this time to help Qin Youjiao regain her dignity. Jiao Jiao scored 736 points. I want to hold a banquet for her, and I hope you can come. Chapter 1165. Old Master Qin's face turned red with anger when he heard that. He pointed at Mother Qin, who was wearing a cheongsam embroidered with white orchids, and said with a trembling finger, Why you don't have any conscience as a mother? Everyone knew that Pei Yunj had gone to take the college entrance exam with a high fever. Even Father Qin had come to ask about it a few times, so it was impossible for Mother Qin to not know about it. But at this time, she was helping Qin Yojiao flaunt her strength. Mother Qin pursed her lips. Then she stubbornly sneered and said, "Dad, you're the one who's biased. If it wasn't for the fact that you don't care about Jiao Jiao's life, I wouldn't have done this. Jiao Jiao is the child who has been by my side for more than 10 years, but you only have Pei Yunj in your heart." Principal Su and the others felt a little awkward when they heard Old Master Qin and his daughter-in-law arguing on the spot. Old Master Qin was so angry that his heart ached. The mahjong players beside him hurriedly helped him to sit down. "I won't go. There's only one daughter in the Qin family," Old Master Qin said with a dark expression. Mother Qin's eyes burned with anger when she heard that. She sneered and glanced at the people beside her. "Even Principal Su is here. Dad, you're too biased. If Jiao Jiao didn't do well this time, would you be willing to find some connections for her?" "I wouldn't," Old Master Qin said expressionlessly. It wasn't just Qin Yojiao. Even if it was Qin Luyan and the others, if they didn't do well in the college entrance exam, Old Master Qin wouldn't find any connections for them even if he wanted them to repeat their studies. However, Mother Qin's face still contorted when she heard this answer. However, the next moment, out of the corner of her eye, Mother Qin noticed that Pei Yunj had come down from upstairs. She suddenly smiled faintly and said, "Dad, is it because Pei Yunj did well in the exam that you didn't come to Jiao Jiao's banquet?" These words almost infuriated Old Master Qin. If it weren't for the fact that the men of the Qin family were taught not to hit women, he would have picked up his walking stick. "But don't worry, Dad. Even if you don't treat Jiao Jiao as your granddaughter, Jiao Jiao still wants to be filial to you. The phone number and address she left for her college entrance exam are also in our old mansion." Mother Qin smiled deliberately. "As a child of the Qin family, how can I embarrass the Qin family? You cough cough cough." Old Master Qin was so angry that he felt faint. "Grandpa." At this moment, Pei Yunj walked over to help Old Master Qin calm down. She had only heard a little of the conversation and asked unhurriedly, "What are you talking about?" "Nothing much." When Old Master Qin saw his granddaughter, his voice became much gentler. This surprised Principal Su and the others. One must know that Old Master Qin had never spoken to Qin Yojiao in such an affectionate tone. "This must be Yunj, right? How were your college entrance exam results?" The moment Principal Su spoke, he instinctively asked about her results. As a result, Old Master Qin's death stare fell on him. "Not bad." Pei Yunj's expression was natural. Principal Su couldn't help but ask, "How many points?" Pei Yunj replied, "I haven't checked yet." Old Master Qin was speechless. Principal Su and the mahjong players were speechless. This kind of self-confidence was indeed rare. Mother Qin couldn't help but scoff. She said sarcastically, "If it's not good, then it's not good. How good is it? Have you had enough?" Old Master Qin's voice was stern. Mother Qin's face turned pale, and she didn't continue speaking. Pei Yunj glanced at Mother Qin with interest and chuckled softly. Mother Qin felt inexplicably uncomfortable. Just as she was about to say something, someone came in from outside. It was the principals of Yin University and Beichuan University. P.S. There's still one more chapter. You guys go to sleep first. End of chapter. Chapter 1166. Excuse me, is this Old Master Qin's house? The two principals had just arrived and they were still slightly nervous. After all, they had met many outstanding candidates who came from well-to-do families, but this was the first time they met someone who came from such a well-to-do family. It was at least a few hundred meters from the entrance of the old mansion to the living room. However, when Mama Qin saw this, she thought that they were here to look for Qin Yojiao. She was somewhat flattered. "Principal Xiang, Principal Tan, why are you here today? Didn't you call Jiao Jiao yesterday?" When Old Master Qin heard this, he thought that they were here to look for Qin Yojiao and his face instantly darkened. He almost chased them away on the spot. "Tong Yueying, I'm warning you, this is the last time." Old Master Qin's tone was sinister. This made the principals of Yinhua University and Beichuan inexplicably afraid. Surely not? Just because they did not call Pei Yunj yesterday, Old Master Qin was already this angry? "Old Master Qin, This matter is related to your biological granddaughter after all. You should calm down and listen to this. Am I her mother? Can't you talk to her mother? Old Master Qin's tone was extremely irritated. The principals of Yinhua University and Beichuan shrank their necks. This was indeed the family of the national top scholar. How arrogant. Then, Mrs. Qin, can we talk? The principal of Yinhua University smiled stiffly at Mama Qin. You're too kind to come here personally. I really don't know what to say. Mama Qin was very happy and smiled brightly. However, if Principal Xiang and Principal Tan are free, I wonder if you'd be willing to attend my daughter's banquet in a few days? Banquet? The principal of Yinhua University was stunned for a moment, but he quickly smiled again. Of course. It's only right. After all, she's the national top scholar. No matter what, we should celebrate. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Principal Su and the others subconsciously looked at Mama Qin and the others. National top scholar. There was actually a living national top scholar in their circle? However, Mama Qin's smile was slightly stiff. Top scholar? Principal Xiang, are you mistaken? My family is ranked second in Jiaojiao City and only fourth in the country. Of course not. Halfway through his sentence, Senior Colonel Yun immediately sobered up. Wait. Who told you it's classmate Qin? I'm talking about classmate Pei Yunj. Suddenly, the atmosphere fell into a dead silence. On the other hand, Principal Yun was still talking nonstop. I really didn't expect classmate Pei to score 749 points in the college entrance examination, despite the unprecedented level of difficulty. I heard that 1 point was deducted because he didn't finish his essay. Initially, the teachers who marked the papers wanted to deduct 2 or 3 points, but a senior teacher really liked classmate Pei's essay, and was so angry that he decided to deduct 2 or 3 points. Hence, he sent it to the higher-ups for approval and only 1 point was deducted. Gu scored 749 points? Old Master Qin was at a loss for words as he asked in disbelief. Principal Beichuan hesitated. You didn't even check the scores? Could this be the national top scholars family? They were already so confident. Old Master Qin was speechless. What should he say? Not only did he not check the scores, but he was also helping his granddaughter get in through the back door. Principal Su was also silent. If he had agreed to let Old Master Qin get in through the back door, would he have made a killing today? That can't be right. Su, you're from a politics and law school. How dare you snatch the top scholar from us? Principal Beichuan looked wary. Principal Su was speechless. You might not believe it, but I just rejected the backdoor application from the family of the college entrance examination's top scholar. P.S. Good night, good girls. Chapter 1167. Principal Su was expressionless, but his heart was numb. Shut up. Pei Yunj? Suddenly, Mother Qin seemed to lose her mind. She looked up at the principal of Yin University and denied it agitatedly. How is that possible? How could she be the top scorer in the national examination? She must have cheated. She must have cheated. However, her words caused the principals of several universities to look at her with disgust. How could the dignified Madame Qin say such things? As a mother, how could she be biased to this extent? It's not surprising that student Pei was the top scorer in the national examination. After all, she was also the top scorer in the previous joint examination. The principal of Yin University changed his attitude. Principal Beichuan, who was sitting beside him, rolled his eyes. Someone had posted on WeChat Moments that the heavens were jealous of geniuses after finding out that Pei Yunj was seriously ill. She was the top scorer in the joint examination. Principal Su looked shocked. Back then, before he returned to China, he heard this news and was shocked for a long time. After all, the difficulty of the examination paper was far beyond the standard of the National College entrance examination. But in the end, someone actually scored full marks. All of a sudden, Principal Su looked at Old Master Qin with a complicated expression. His face was even a little distorted. Good Lord! So this was what this old fox meant when he said that she did not do well in the examination? Because she could score full marks in the past, but now she actually lost 1 mark? Finally, old Master Qin was all smiles. He could not wait to announce this great news to the world. Pei Yunj suddenly said, "Grandpa, I have an appointment with my classmate. Can I go out to play?" Before old Master Qin could say anything, a few principals at the side stopped Pei Yunj. "Student Pei, can you consider Beichuan? Beichuan's physics department is the ace major. As long as you are willing, you can enter any professor's laboratory." The principal of Yin University, who was at the side, did not want to be outdone. "Don't listen to him. Every major in Yin University is good. Moreover, there are many scholarships." Principal Su, who could not get a word in, was filled with endless regret. This was the consequence of being stupid back then. If he had found out that Pei Yunj was the top scorer in that joint examination before he rejected her, he would have brought her to the school no matter what. Following that, the principal of Yin University suddenly played the emotional card. "Yunj, you know that old Bai is the former principal of Yin University. Isn't coming to Yin University the same as returning to your happy hometown?" Pei Yunj was speechless. Principal Bei Chuan did not want to be outdone either. "Yunj, you know that old Zhong is my teacher. If you come to Bei Chuan, more than half of the professors here will be old Zhong's juniors." Looking at this noisy scene, Mother Qin's face turned livid. She gritted her teeth, feeling as though she had been slapped in the face. Mother Qin took a deep breath. She did not want to stay here for another second. She turned around and left immediately. And right then, Pei Yunj's eyelids also moved. "Regarding the school selection, I'll listen to my grandfather." With that, Pei Yunj quickly walked away. Only old Master Qin was left standing there in a daze. However, a few seconds later, the principals and old Master Qin looked at each other. Half a minute passed. Old Master Qin suddenly became noble and elegant in a second. He sat back on the sofa and said, "Old Xiao, you guys should go back early." When the other two mahjong partners heard this, they knew that this matter was about to start and immediately left. Before the other three principals could react, they heard old Master Qin ask in a very reserved manner, "Do all of you know how to play mahjong?" Principal Yin University? Question mark. Principal Beichuan? Question mark. Principal Su. Chapter 1168. A few minutes later, the three principals were forced to play mahjong with old Master Qin. Old Master Qin said with a smile, emphasizing the last three words, "Come, come, come. Don't let me win just because I have a granddaughter who is the top scorer in the college entrance examination." The principals were speechless. Good Lord. Initially, they wanted to play a few rounds seriously, but now that the old man said that, who would be so stupid as to play seriously? They were all people who had lived most of their lives, who could not understand what he meant. The few principals who had been flattered for half their lives could only smile and agree at this moment, seriously losing money to play with him. Principal Su in particular, had a fake smile on his face. This old thing did not let him go. It was obvious that he wanted to take back the money that he had won earlier. The entire afternoon, old Master Qin was having a lot of fun. He only saw the three principals off in the evening. His face was filled with the joy of victory. "Principal Xiang, come again next time." We will. Please don't see me out." The principal of Yinhua University had a stiff smile on his face, but his heart was about to break down. He did not want to come to this godforsaken place ever again. After the principals left, old Master Qin placed his hands behind his back and walked back to the living room arrogantly. Not long after, he went upstairs to change his clothes. About half an hour later, Qin Lang had just returned to the old mansion when he was shocked by old Master Qin, who was in the living room. What are you wearing? A dragon robe?" Qin Lang asked, finding it hard to explain. Old Master Qin stood in front of the mirror and looked at his bright yellow Tongshan costume. His tone was indifferent and pretentious. "How is it? I'll be wearing this for the banquet." Qin Lang. "Do you want me to make a king's crown for you? Gur is not around, right?" Qin Lang could not be bothered with old Master Qin and puffed a sigh. "I heard that Qin Youjiao got second place in the city. I hope she doesn't know about this." "Do you think Gur is like you?" She only scored so little in the college entrance examination. Old Master Qin had a look of disdain on his face. Qin Lang? Question mark. What's your score? Qin Lang lifted his head abruptly and asked. 749. Old Master Qin lifted his chin with a look of disdain. Unlike you, Yinhua University, who scored so much. Just now, a few principals from Yinhua University, Beichuan University, and the National Politics University were playing cards with me. Qin Lang. No wonder this old man thought of himself as an emperor, and even started to wear a dragon robe. After Qin Lang was done with his disdain, he quickly went upstairs and secretly posted on his WeChat moments to show off. Pei Yunj had only come out to hide from the principals. After giving Song Yao a call, he found out that Song Yao had scored 9th place in the city, and was definitely going to enter Yinhua University. At the Computing Institute. Master Pei, you're amazing. Even though you have a high fever, you still managed to become the top scorer in the country, Si Qingyan teased. In the afternoon, news of the top scorer in the college entrance examination enduring a high fever and getting full marks spread like wildfire. Was this the world of the big shots? He should be coming to my faculty, right? Si Qingyan asked excitedly. Pei Yunj didn't even raise his head. Will you teach me? Si Qingyan. What a stinging rhetorical question. I haven't thought about it yet. I just want to make the old man happy by taking the college entrance examination. Pei Yunj said slowly. Anyway, as long as you don't leave Yunqing, you can go anywhere. Si Qingyan was scrolling through the hot search as usual. Suddenly he saw a novel hot search and clicked on it. After a while, he sneered. What's wrong? Pei Yunj asked. Si Qingyan seemed to think of something and chuckled. Nothing. Today, Qin Youjiao was checking the scores live. The news that he ranked second in the city was directly on the hot search. Chapter 1169. Hashtag Qin Youjiao ranked second in the city in the college entrance examination. Hashtag Qin Youjiao ranked second in the college entrance examination. Hashtag a few of the terms were on the hot search list. And not long after, they reached the top. The reason why Qin Youjiao did this was obvious. It was to embarrass Pei Yunj. She thought that Pei Yunj had really gone to the examination hall with a high fever, and would definitely fail the exam this time. Therefore, she wanted to take the opportunity to step on Pei Yunj, and embarrass Pei Yunj on the internet. After all, Pei Yunj had brothers like Qin Yu and Qin Lang who had their own popularity, so it would be easy for her to gain popularity. In addition, Pei Yunj and Qin Youjiao had always had a grudge against each other. The netizens had always been watching for a good show. Very soon, these terms were quickly left with comments. Ah, Jiao Jiao is so awesome. She ranked second in the city. I wouldn't even dare to do this in my dreams. Is this the scene of a rich and powerful princess turning the tables? Sob sob sob. I will always love the female lead the most. Jiao Jiao charge. Since she's on the hot search list, I'll recommend my sister Jiao Jiao. She's the youngest member of the International Music Association, and the second top student in the college entrance examination hall. Looks like the princess is still a princess. She went to Neely for a year and still managed to get second in the city when she returned. I wonder how the real daughter is doing in her college entrance examination. I heard that the real daughter had a high fever of 39 degrees Celsius during her college entrance examination. It's spread all over Hongda. She's probably going to be defeated by Qin Youjiao this time. No way, right? Is a certain someone even worthy of being compared to my Jiao Jiao? A high fever isn't an excuse either. If she can't win, then she can't win. The netizens quickly left comments, wishing that they could dig up Pei Yunj's score. There were also some fans of Qin Lang and Qin Yu who were rationally defending Pei Yunj. After all, this was as much as sister-in-law fans could do. Meanwhile, at home, Qin Youjiao scrolled through the trending comments. The sarcasm at the corner of her mouth became even more intense. So what if Pei Yunj returned to the Qin family? Wasn't she still inferior to her? Was she still going to be trampled underfoot by her? Qin Youjiao lay on the sofa and continued to scroll down the trending topics. However, she saw two trending terms from the corner of her eye. Hashtag National Top Scorer 749 Hashtag Cry. Qin Youjiao frowned. She felt a little uncomfortable. but she still clicked on this term. What does it mean to be a real big shot? Compared to Qin Youjiao's 716 plus 20 privilege points, this is the real father. She beat this year's examinees up and taught them how to be human. She didn't finish her Chinese essay and only deducted 1 point. She got 149 points. She got full marks for all other subjects. The netizens couldn't help but worship the big shot. The examinees from the same batch were rubbed against. How can she get 749 points? She's a god, right? I'm dying of laughter. Qin Youjiao just appeared on the trending topics. Why are you all so fat? Are you deliberately embarrassing the #1 female lead in the universe, Sister Jiao? Doghead. I can't let my mom see this trending topic. Ha, I'm already getting beaten up even though I'm in the same school as the top scorer. Goodbye. How can she get 749 points with a fever of 39 degrees? F***CK, she took the exam while she was sick? So fierce? I can prove it. It's true. I'm also an alumnus of Hongda. Qin Youjiao is too capable. People don't even take her seriously. Why does she have to rush to provoke the big shot? Hey, what do you mean? Why can't I understand? Don't ask. If you ask, she's the real girl. Why YDS call? The passers-by were confused when they saw several alumni talking in riddles. What does this matter have to do with the real girl? Until a few minutes later, some people couldn't sit still and forwarded and claimed the status of the official media. Qinyu, well, she's better than her brother. Yunqing Daily, come into the world of the prodigy. 749 points in the hellish college entrance examination. The editor also cried picture. P.S. There's one more chapter. Chapter 1170. Very soon. Some people were not willing to lag behind. Crush Qinlang. Welcome to the 4th college student in my family. She will always be my little Rose. Yunqing Daily. Enter the world of the prodigy. 749 points in the hellish level of the college entrance examination. The editor is also crying. Picture. Qin Corporation. Hashtag Queen's Behavior. Hashtag Missy Rushes. Yunqing Daily. Enter the world of the prodigy. 749 points in the hellish level of the college entrance examination. The editor is also crying. Picture. This time the whole internet exploded. What was going on? Qin Yu and Qin Lang only had one younger sister. Qin Youjiao had long left the Qin family. So, the national college entrance examination champion was Pei Yunj? Is it what I think it is? The college entrance examination champion is a real daughter. Upstairs, be more serious. It's the national college entrance examination champion. Cathead. F***CK, F***CK, so she took the exam while she was sick. In the end, she still got the first place in the national college entrance examination? I'm vomiting from laughing. Sister Jiao's fans who have a bad mouth just now, come and kowtow to the father of the top student. Ha 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 ha. This is too embarrassing, right? She can get 749 points even when she is sick. What about Sister Jiao? How can Sister Jiao continue to act as the main female lead? To be honest, the real daughter fulfills all my fantasies of a rich girl. She is low-key and doesn't play tricks. She doesn't care about any comments from the outside world. You can scold or praise her, but she will accept it all. Compared to this, Qin Youjiao is so low. The real daughter's reputation in school is actually not bad. She looks cold and aloof, but she is also a human wrench. If it weren't for the school belle of the neighboring #1 high school, I would be willing to be a ghost under her skirt. Sob sob sob. As soon as these words fell, it resonated with many people. Every time they wanted to strike up a conversation with Pei Yunj and ask for her WeChat, Song Yao's smiling face next to her made their scalps go numb. In this day and age, the school belle was also digested internally. However, Qin Youjiao's face turned pale when she saw this. She bit her lip hard and stared at the screen. How could this be? Pei Yunj scored 749 points. She was the national champion? Jiao Jiao? I bought you a cake that you like. Mother Qin did not mention Pei Yunj, not wanting to upset Qin Youjiao. However, Qin Yojiao immediately walked in front of Mother Qin. Mom, how many points did Pei Yunj score? She's the national champion. Mother Qin looked flustered. She did not expect Qin Yojiao to find out so quickly. However, when Mother Qin recalled that Beichuan and Yunhua University's principal had gone to the Qin family mansion to visit Old Master Qin because of Pei Yunj, she could only bite the bullet and say, yes. Qin Yojiao recalled that she had deliberately bought the trending topic just now. Looking at it now, it was like a slap to her face. At that moment, her face turned green and red. She took a step back and could not help but shake her head with a dazed look in her eyes. How is this possible? It's impossible. She's clearly a good-for-nothing. When Mother Qin heard Qin Yojiao say that about Pei Yunj, her heart felt strangely stifled. However, she quickly comforted her. Jiao, it's not what you think. There are national champions every year, but you're the youngest member of the music association. There's nothing wrong with that. The music association. Qin Yojiao mumbled. Suddenly, she came back to her senses and remembered something. Pei Yunj had also been to Neely and had even become a member of the music association because she had cheated. However, she had been reported, although she did not know what happened next. But at least she could use this to make Pei Yunj unable to make a comeback and completely become a street rat that everyone wanted to beat up. Mom, you're right. I'm the youngest C-rank member of the music association. Qin Yojiao suddenly smiled. She turned around and walked upstairs, mulling over an idea. P.S. Good night. Qin Yojiao could not do anything anymore. This time, she was the first person to deal with her when she came back. Chapter 1171. On this day, Qin Yojiao was almost trembling with anger at the group of people on the internet. She did not know who was behind this, but the trending topic directly reached the top. No matter how she tried to find her connections, she could not get rid of it. However, after 2 days, the popularity of this entry quickly disappeared. It was obvious that someone was protecting Pei Yunj. This kind of understanding almost made Qin Yojiao's eyes red with jealousy. However, in the past few days, Pei Yunj was busy with the establishment and expansion of the Higgins Group's double headquarters, and did not care about anything else. It was also because of the Higgins Group's double headquarters announcement on the internet that it had attracted the attention of many people, and even became a trending topic. In less than 2 days, because of Xiang Yan's handsome interview, the Higgins Group's reputation directly rose in the country. After all this year, the Higgins Group launched a series of high-tech product series, which directly entered the top 10 of the world's enterprises and the top 1 of the future commercial potential list. And such a mega enterprise could establish a new headquarters in Yunqing, which indeed attracted international attention. After all, to some extent, this would definitely raise the domestic scientific research level and drive the economic development of Yunqing. Therefore, many research institutes in a country could not help but want to contact the person in charge of the Higgins Group. However, it was said that the current heir of the Higgins Group never showed up. And most of the things were handled by General Manager Xiang, Higgins' headquarters in Yunqing. As soon as Pei Yunj arrived, she looked at the international design of the building. At first glance, she knew that it was a foreign enterprise. She moved her eyebrows and did not say much. She pressed the brim of her hat and stepped in. In the hall on the first floor, many people in charge of various companies had gathered. Such a scene was surprising. After all, these people were all well-known figures in the country. But now they gathered together, thinking of ways to meet the senior management of the Higgins Group. They all had plans in their hands, hoping to get the favor of the head of the Higgins Group. Inadvertently, Pei Yunj also heard a familiar voice that she had not heard for a long time. Young General Manager Cheng, you can handle the affairs of your own industry at such a young age. It's really amazing. Someone next to him praised. Cheng Zihuai, who had always been arrogant among his peers, just smiled modestly. My father said that I should come out to gain more experience, and also to learn from all of you. Zihuai, you are too modest. You are also an outstanding talent in Qingchong Computing Center, and Higgins has always paid attention to scientific research. It is estimated that the first company they will choose to cooperate with will be the Cheng Group. Speaking of this, everyone looked at Cheng Zihuai with admiration and more or less hostility. However, Cheng Zihuai had long been used to such gazes. He still smiled calmly and said, "Our Cheng group really wants to cooperate with Higgins group, but I also heard that the Qin group is preparing to develop in the direction of scientific research." But when he heard the scolding, his tone was mocking. CEO Qin's appetite is big, and he wants to get a foot in everything. The Cheng group is an old technology company. No matter what aspect of strength it is, it will not be inferior. A dark light flashed across Cheng Zihuai's eyes. This time, he was indeed determined to get the opportunity to cooperate with Higgins. Therefore, he would not let the Qin group be an obstacle to him. But fortunately, Qin Youjiao had already left the Qin group, so he had nothing to worry about. Moreover, the Qin family still had Pei Yunj, who made him feel disgusted. Cheng Zihuai could not hide the sarcasm in his eyes. Pei Yunj only had this little trick up her sleeve, which made her brothers deliberately target Youjiao. End of this chapter. Chapter 1172. However, a burst of noise interrupted Cheng Zihuai's thoughts. "Director Kong, I finally get to see you today." Everyone brought their business plans and hurried over to Kong Kuoju. Actually, this kind of thing was not usually done by the person in charge of the company, but who did not want to leave a good impression on the person in charge of Higgins. Kong Kuoju had originally come to look for Nieyu, but he did not know what urgent matter Nieyu had and could not find him. As a matter of fact, as soon as he went downstairs, he saw the person in charge of the company in the hall. "Did you invite me to cooperate?" Kong Kuoju's tone was calm and his eyes were a little arrogant. "Then come with me to the second floor and have a good chat." Upon hearing that, a look of relief flashed across Cheng Zihuai's eyes. As expected, Kong Kuoju was in charge of the business cooperation this time. Since that was the case, he had an advantage over everyone else. After all, Kong Kuoju's family also had a small company that had always been cooperating with the Cheng group. "Zihuai, I haven't seen you for a few years. How's Uncle Cheng?" Kong Kuoju asked with a smile. Everyone could not help but be jealous of Cheng Zihuai. They did not expect Cheng Zihuai to get in touch with the people of the Higgins group so quickly. Cheng Zihuai also smiled. He was also determined to get this cooperation. "Father is very good. He has been thinking about you and Uncle Kong." Not long after, everyone had just chatted in the conference hall on the second floor for a while when a woman suddenly rushed in. "Sorry I'm late. I'm Chiohan from the Qin group." Chiohan smiled apologetically, but her behavior was not formal. Otherwise, she would not have become the only female senior manager of the Qin group. But soon, the people next to her sneered. "What the hell? The Qin group only sent a woman here? It seems that Boss Qin is very arrogant." Chiohan said lightly, "Boss Qin has an important meeting today, so he can't be here in person. But I also believe that Boss Qin's sincerity in this cooperation invitation is no less than anyone else's." "That's nice to hear." The others looked at Chiohan with a bit of sarcasm in their eyes. Someone even asked frivolously with a smile, "Or does Boss Qin want to play a trick of surprise? Is he sending a beauty to our door?" After that, everyone present looked at her with a wretched expression. Chiohan held it in and sat at the seat furthest to the side, quietly waiting for her appointment time. At this moment, Cheng Zihuai said calmly with a hidden meaning, "The Qin family has a lot of hands now. They want to get their hands on everything." "Zihuai, aren't you and Qin Youjiao?" Kong Kuoju raised his eyebrows. "Why do you not seem to like the Qin family?" "Youjiao is not the Qin family's biological daughter. She has been chased out of the family a long time ago. As for the real daughter that was sent back, she is very good at handling things." Cheng Zihuai's tone was filled with disgust. Kong Kuoju quickly understood. Kong Kuoju laughed. "I see. But it's not a big deal. Leave it to me." On the top floor, it was the first time Nieyu faced Pei Yunja's high-pressure aura. He felt a chill down his spine. "What do you mean? Are you trying to fool me with this?" Pei Yunja's face was expressionless. She threw the things on the table and suppressed her anger. Nieyu picked up the proposal and flipped through it. He did not notice anything wrong. But not long after, Nieyu suddenly remembered something. He borrowed the computer to check the data, and found that there were many problems with the expenditure of this public welfare fund. It was a fake account. Miss Pei, this really wasn't my. Nyeyu panicked. He finally knew why Pei Yunj was angry. Chapter 1173. This time, someone was injecting water into the Higgins Group's public welfare fund plan, hoping to earn a few $100 million. Nyeyu thought that Pei Yunj was just like the other people in the group, wanting to create a public welfare fund to earn a good reputation. Therefore, he did not care too much about the development of this plan. However, he did not expect that when Pei Yunj came today, he would step on Pei Yunj's bottom line repeatedly. Do I care that you did it? Pei Yunj smiled faintly. There was no warmth in his eyes. Every word struck Nyeyu's heart, causing him to tremble. What's the difference between a traitor and an idiot? Nyeyu's scalp went numb. This proposal and the detailed information at the bottom were very thick. In the past, he had always thought that Pei Yunj was a scientific genius. However, he could only rely on Shang Yan for the company's matters. However, reality directly poured a bucket of ice water on him. Not only did Pei Yunj have an astonishing memory, but she was also very familiar with business. He could remember the content and data analysis of the plan after reading it once, and even see the loopholes. Get rid of all the rotten bugs and useless people in the company. If you don't want to stay here, you can leave the next proposal to me. I will also talk to Shang Yan. Pei Yunj tried her best to maintain a calm tone, but it still made Nyeyu shiver. Nyeyu could not help but take another look at Pei Yunj. While he was afraid of Pei Yunj, it was also the first time he truly acknowledged this person as their Higgins successor. Yes, Mississippi, Nyeyu hurriedly answered. And for the next half an hour, Nyeyu braced himself and listened to Pei Yunj's plan to correct the mistakes and the historical data. His heart trembled in fear. Nyeyu could also see that Pei Yunj was suppressing her anger, so he was very afraid that in the next moment, Pei Yunj would grab his neck and ask him if he wanted to die. It had to be said that although Pei Yunj was unwilling to take over at the beginning, as long as she took over from the beginning, she would not allow Higgins to live like before. Do you remember all the things I asked you to do again? Pei Yunj's voice sounded. Yes, Mississippi. Nyeyu's heart was numb. Looking at these plans, none of them survived in Pei Yunj's hands. He suddenly started to miss Director Shang, who asked him if he had a brain with a smile. It was better than this big boss who shot arrows in the dark when he worked. Finally, Pei Yunj prepared to leave and did not let Nyeyu send her downstairs. Nyeyu also collapsed on the sofa as if he had just escaped from death. Pei Yunj pressed down on the brim of her hat. She was still not in a good mood. She did not expect the people Shang Yan sent over to be so unreliable. However, in the next moment, the elevator door opened. Pei Yunj followed the person out and realized that she had gone the wrong way. This was the second floor. Coming back to her senses, before Pei Yunj left, she glanced at the people who were discussing cooperation not far away and suddenly felt a sense of comfort. The people in this company were not that bad. There was still hope. With this thought in mind, Pei Yunj was just about to go down when she suddenly heard a familiar voice. Yo, Miss Chiu is making a scene here. Miss Qin is also here? Pei Yunj stopped in her tracks. She was sure that this Miss Qin was referring to her. Pei Yunj had just turned around when she saw Chiu Han looking at a man with a beer belly with an ugly expression. Pei Yunj had been to the Qin Corporation a few times, so she knew Chiu Han. She was a gentle but resolute woman. Miss Chiu, I said that you can leave with your plan. Kong Kuoju did not hide his intention to target her. Chapter 1174. Mr. Kong, you haven't read my proposal yet. How do you know that Higgins doesn't need to work with us? Chiu Han didn't care about being wronged in the workplace, but she was annoyed by their hostile attitude towards the Qin group. Isn't it obvious enough? What I mean is, don't waste time. Our group will never work with the Qin group. After saying that, Kong Kuoju suddenly took out a cigarette and said with a smile, but if Miss Chiu wants to stay for a chat, I don't mind. This kind of malicious humiliation caused the people around them to laugh. Miss Chiu, don't be a joke. Exactly. Men don't like you when you look at your ugly face. Chiu Han suppressed the anger in her heart, but she could only smile. The research institute that has strategic cooperation with the Qin Group is a first-class research institute in the country. We have the best team resources. Kong Kuoju suddenly looked Chiu Han up and down and asked, Miss Chiu, what are your measurements? Chiu Han's face instantly turned red. This was the first time she had been humiliated in public. Suddenly, a leisurely voice came from the side. What? Are you going to get breast implants and butt pads? His words caused everyone's smiles to freeze, and the atmosphere to freeze. Kong Kuoju's face turned green and red. Eldest miss. Chiu Han didn't know why Pei Yunj was here. She didn't expect eldest miss's first sentence to be so fierce. If she offended Kong Kuoju, she might offend Higgins in the future. Chiu Han panicked for no reason. Just as she was about to say something to salvage the situation, she heard Pei Yunj's question. Who allowed you to smoke here? Everyone was speechless. This was the first time they saw someone being so arrogant in someone else's company. Chiu Han immediately pulled Pei Yunj behind her to protect her. Director Kong, since we can't work together this time, I'll look for you next time. With that, Chiu Han was just about to leave when Kong Kuoju stopped her. He sneered and asked, What do you mean? You want to leave just like that? Pei Yunj, who was pulled behind Chiu Han, thought about how this mess was hers and how the plan to steal a few 100 million yuan was also hers. Pei Yunj couldn't hold back her laughter when she saw that all the people smoking in the conference room were her employees. What a lousy company. If it wasn't for the fact that Nancy refused to leave no matter what, she wouldn't have taken over this kind of rotten company. When Pei Yunj's words fell into the ears of the others, it became a blatant provocation. The young miss of the Qin family is amazing. Even the Higgins group doesn't like it. Someone immediately gloated. Director Kong, did you see it clearly? This is the attitude of the Qin family. Chiu Han's face darkened. You guys, at this time. Chung Zihuai's tone was also cold as he mocked. Pei Yunj, I advise you not to cause trouble for your brother. The Higgins group is not something that the Qin family can afford to offend. So this is the famous young miss of the Qin family. Kong Kuoju sarcastically said, I didn't expect that in Miss Pei's eyes, our group has become a lousy company. Director Kong. Before Chiu Han could finish, Kong Kuoju interrupted. I told you as long as I, Kong Kuoju, am alive, Higgins will never consider the Qin family. Don't you understand me? However, suddenly, a voice came from behind Kong Kuoju. What's wrong? Kong Kuoju looked flustered and immediately put out the cigarette. Bosnia. Chapter 1175. As soon as Nieyu came downstairs, he heard the commotion inside. Kong Kuoju immediately pushed the blame to Nieyu and said sarcastically, Boss Nie, it's the Qin Group's people who are causing trouble in our company. They said that Higgins is a lousy company. Chiu Han's expression changed. Boss Nie, it's not like that. Compared to a small fry like Kong Kuoju, Chiu Han knew Nieyu's position in Higgins better. It was the woman next to him who said it. Kong Kuoju immediately pointed at Pei Yunge and said fiercely. Nieyu was initially annoyed, but when his gaze swept across Pei Yunge, his body instantly froze. I don't know where the Qin family got the guts to humiliate Higgins' group like this. However, I feel that there's no need for the Qin group to cooperate with us in the future. Kong Kuoju still looked excited as he splashed dirty water on the Qin group. Nieyu's mind instantly went blank, as if there was only a row of words left. He was King dead meat. It was obviously not a small matter for this ancestor to scold his own company in anger. Nieyu's body started to freeze, and a chill ran down his spine. He did not know what expression he should have, nor did he hear what Chiu Han was explaining to him. In his heart, he wanted to press that brain-dead guy with the surname Kong to the ground and beat him up. He had guts. Of all the people he could have provoked, he had to provoke the one he shouldn't provoke the most. Boss Nie, let's talk upstairs. Pei Yunji's emotions could not be heard clearly. Nieyu's legs were a little weak. Okay. Kong Kuoju, who was still scolding Pei Yunge at the side, did not realize that something was wrong. He watched as Pei Yunge minded her own business, and entered the stairs first. Kong Kuoju did not forget to mock Nieyu. Boss Nie, look, Miss Qin's temper is terrible. She even dares to walk in front of you. Nyeyu took a deep breath and resisted the urge to pull Kong Kwoju's head and slam it against the wall. Shut up. At this moment, Chiu Han chased after her anxiously. Miss Qin, let Boss Qin handle this matter. There's no need. I was the one who said that someone ruined the company just now. I just need to apologize. Pei Yun-gu suppressed her anger and was rather patient with Chiu Han. Chiu Han was speechless. When someone apologized, would they have an expression that said, "I'll kill you if I don't go upstairs"? Kong Kwoju laughed coldly. He was still waiting to go upstairs to watch the show. Nyeyu, who saw Kong Kwoju's expression, was speechless. Why had he been so blind to hire such a brainless person in the first place? Chiu Han watched as the elevator door closed. Although she was anxious, she could only call Qin Lian. On the top floor, Kong Kwoju continued to be impassioned as soon as he entered the door. Boss Nya, the Qin group is looking down on our company. They are not fit to be our business partner. Then. Before Kong Kwoju could finish speaking, he saw Pei Yun-gu sitting at the office table. This was the CEO's office. He heard that it was prepared for the boss who rarely came. What are you doing? How dare you? Before Kong Kwoju could scold her, he heard Nyeyu say with difficulty, "Miss, please calm down." Kong Kwoju could not react for a moment. What was going on? Nyeyu was Xiang Yan's subordinate. He had never bowed to anyone. What was going on now? How did the young miss of the Qin family become the miss that Nyeyu was talking about? It was my dereliction of duty to not satisfy you at the initial stage of the establishment of Yun City's headquarters, Nyeyu continued. Kong Kwoju felt as if he had been struck by lightning when he heard this. Even if he did not understand, he could more or less guess Pei Yun-ji's identity. He remembered that the boss of the company was a woman. P.S. Good night. Chapter 1176. Kong Kwoju lifted his head abruptly, his pupils constricting. How was that possible? The young mistress of the Qin family was the boss of the Higgins group. Kong Kwoju felt as though he was soaked in cold water. He knew he was done for. He had already offended the boss. Nyeyu. Pei Yunj licked her lower lip, choosing her words carefully. Now that I think about how this lousy company is mine, I feel a little embarrassed. Nyeyu started to feel afraid. Who do you want to embarrass today? Pei Yunj played with the fountain pen in her hand, and suddenly smiled mysteriously. I couldn't tell, but the company's sexism is quite deep-rooted. Why am I not allowed to eat at the table when the company's higher-ups gather in the future? Hearing this, Nyeyu's legs almost turned to jelly. No, absolutely not. Kong Kwoju shuddered, not daring to lift his head to look at Pei Yunj, especially when he thought of the words he had said downstairs. I said as long as I, Kong Kwoju, am alive, Higgins will never consider the Qin group. Kong Kwoju could not help but close his eyes. He had already predicted his ending. This time he was really done for. Boss, I was really wrong, I didn't know you were. Now that Kong Kwoju thought about what Cheng Zihuai had said, he wanted to strangle Cheng Zihuai to death. Did Pei Yunj need to suck up to her brothers and target Qin Youjiao? With her status, was it difficult to kill Qin Youjiao? Boss, I was listening to slander. It was Cheng Zihuai who said that the Qin group did not respect Higgins at all, and only wanted to cheat him of the opportunity to cooperate. Boss, I did it for Higgins, please forgive me this once. Kong Kwoju still had some brains and knew how to push the blame. However, Nyeyu already knew Pei Yunj's character. Kong Kwoju, you can leave Higgins now. Nyeyu's tone was cold. Boss Nye, boss. Kong Kwoju was unwilling to give up. After looking at Nyeyu, he looked at Pei Yunj again. A gloomy and cold smile quickly flashed across his eyes. However, after Kong Kwoju left, Pei Yunj then asked unhurriedly, who was the one who planned this public welfare fund project? Nyeyu suddenly reacted. He froze and looked in the direction where Kong Kwoju had left. He had handed this project to Kong Kwoju. After thinking about it, only Kong Kwoju had the highest chance of doing something. All the evidence must be gathered tonight. Don't let anyone escape. After Pei Yunj finished speaking, Nyeyu quickly said, all the evidence will be gathered in 4 hours. What about after that? Hearing this efficiency, Pei Yunj raised her eyebrows slightly and chuckled softly. She said casually, Send a dishonest person to jail for more than 10 years first before someone learns to be obedient. In her previous life, the company that Pei Yun's grandfather had left her was in a much better condition than the current Higgins group. The higher-ups were also the backbone. However, 3 years before Pei Yun took over, she sent 7 of her subordinates to the police station. This made those who wanted to go to Pei Corporation to be commercial spies feel a chill down their spines. Downstairs, Kong Kuoju's expression was full of hatred. He could not wait to kill Pei Yun on the spot. However, when he thought of how much he had earned from the Higgins Group's projects over the years, his expression became slightly better. He scolded fiercely, F***ck, you're just a little girl. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? Kong Kuoju went to pack his things with a long face. Downstairs, Chiu Han paced back and forth anxiously, only to see Nieyu and Pei Yun come down together. Chapter 1177. Chiu Han went up and hurriedly bowed to Nieyu to apologize. Boss Nie, I'm really sorry, my miss. Before he could finish, a man hurriedly walked in from outside the door. His eyebrows were as handsome as ink, his black hair was blown into a mess, but it was slightly curly, making him look sexy. Under his black trousers, a pair of straight long legs were exceptionally eye-catching. Qin Luyan's voice was slightly cold and slow, but his gaze landed on Pei Yun. Boss Nie, my guer is young. If you want to settle the score, let's settle it. Just now in the car, Qin Luyan had heard that Pei Yun had offended Nieyu. Pei Yun raised his eyebrows. He was quite surprised that Qin Luyan would go against Nieyu for his sake. Nieyu was also a little terrified. Settle the score? He dared to settle the score with the boss's brother? Just a moment ago, Pei Yun's tone was unprecedentedly gentle. Boss Qin, you must be joking big. Miss Pei is very good. It's our company's negligence. We've already decided to fire Kong Kuoju as an explanation to your company. What do you think? After Nieyu said this, Chiu Han's head was filled with question marks. Was he serious? They fired the founding elder of Higgins's dynasty, just to give the Qin family an explanation? A ripple flashed across Qin Luyan's calm eyes as he looked at Pei Yun again. Go home. Pei Yun looked at Qin Luyan and was silent for a moment. Big brother. Qin Luyan's body froze, the indifference in his eyes also melted. He only replied in a low voice, okay. Pei Yun seemed to have remembered something. She suddenly took the document from Chiu Han's hand and stuffed it into Nieyu's hand. Boss Nie, you should have time to take a look at this cooperation plan, right? Pei Yun asked casually. Nieyu. F***ck. The boss was going to go through the back door personally. Yes, Mississippi, Nieyu hurriedly replied. This scene was also inexplicably frightening. Boss Nie, what are you afraid of? In the car, Qin Luyan suddenly asked. Gur, do you know Nieyu? Yes. Pei Yun did not intend to hide it. Qin Luyan did not ask further. His face was calm, but his knuckles were faintly white. Today his relationship with Gu had improved a little. At least today, Gu had taken the initiative to call him Big Brother. Thinking of this, Qin Luyan's lips curled into a smile. Pei Yun, on the other hand, did not think of anything else. She was only playing with her phone, thinking about going to see Song Yao's crew in the afternoon. Huo Corporation. Luoxia took a deep breath and turned to look at Huoshidu. He accused, Huoshidu, this is kidnapping. I invited you to attend my union's banquet. Huoshidu was still dealing with work and did not look up at him. What college entrance examination? Did she do well? Luoxia could not help but ask. Sung Su was even more excited than Huoshidu. The college entrance examination champion. She's ranked first in the country. Huoshidu was interrupted and looked up at Sung Su calmly. She's that strong? After Luoxia said that, he suddenly realized. But a few days before the college entrance examination, wasn't she still in Continent K? This guy took the exam naked? So what? Let me tell you, our Miss Pei went for the exam with a high fever. Did you know? Second in the country, 10 points lower than her. What kind of difference is this in the college entrance examination where 1 point can defeat a whole group of people? Master Pei swept away thousands of people. Sung Su began to ramble incoherently. However, the man beside him asked leisurely, "Sung-soo, are you done?" Sung-soo. Oh no, he had stolen Master Do's chance to show off. Chapter 1178. I can't tell that the girl is a straight-A student. Ever since Wuxia knew that Pei Yunja's family was well off and that she had 3 older brothers who doted on her with their lives, he had always defined Pei Yunj as a good-for-nothing second generation. Sung-soo, go out for a while. After Sung-soo left, Hoshidu asked casually, "What do you want to say to me?" Towards Pei Yunj, are you playing around, or are you serious? Wuxia also knew that it was inappropriate for him to say this, but with Pei Yunja's situation, whether she was playing around or serious, it was quite scary. However, as soon as his voice fell, the man stopped writing the fountain pen in his hand and looked at Wuxia calmly. He slowly capped the pen. Do you think that I will waste time looking for someone to play with? This was what Wuxia was most afraid of. Wuxia took a deep breath and turned on the computer again. He passed his investigation and analysis to Hoshidu. His words were concise and to the point. I targeted some of the background information that you gave me and Pei Yunja's past tests. From a professional point of view, she has a very big problem. As a brother, I have to remind you that this is a problem. Wuxia saw that Hoshidu did not speak. He opened his mouth again and said, most of the serious problems like hers are caused by the environment in her early years. I have never encountered a patient like her type. If it was not for the new test instrument, he would not have been able to determine that Pei Yunj really had a problem. In other words, the most difficult thing to deal with was not Pei Yunja's condition, but Pei Yunja's unwillingness to cooperate, so he could not detect any problems with her. What are the chances of her being completely cured? The man lowered his eyes, not knowing what he was thinking. I have never seen her when she acts up, so I can't guarantee you. And I can't be sure if she inherited it. But the biggest problem right now is her compatibility. Wuxia was silent for a moment. Two-way type I disorder. Some people will act up according to the season, and there are 4 peaks. Have you come into contact with her? At that time? The man lowered his eyes in silence. I still want to give you a piece of advice. Young girls are the most sensitive when they are in love. Maybe you like the Pei Yunj in front of you very much, but I don't know if you will be able to stand the Pei Yunj who acts up repeatedly. Wuxia sighed softly. I am saying all this for your own good. And also for her own good. During the period of love, it may be a small matter, but for a person with two-way type I disorder, you don't know what she will think of. I have met a young woman in the past who almost killed her husband because of a small matter. Hoshidu only curled the corners of his lips indecipherable, lit the cigarette between his fingers, and blew out a beautiful smoke ring casually. Is that so? I am more afraid of what she will do to herself. Wuxia was silent for a long time. Hoshidu had fallen too thoroughly. Up to you. I can help you look after her, but as a biological brother, I will have to pay more. Wuxia did not forget to say. Alright, thanks. In the afternoon, Pei Yunja's eyelids twitched violently as she looked at the script. Boss, the madam has just finished the liver removal surgery. Does she know that she is wrong? The madam is no longer breathing. The results of the examination showed that the madam is 3 months pregnant. Pei Yunj fell into a long silence. She looked at Song Yao. Are you going to play the female lead? Song Yao shook her head. I will play the supporting role of the White Lotus, the male lead's first love. Pei Yunj thought for a long time and could only praise her. You have a bright future. Chapter 1179. Song Yao. Pei Yunj looked at Song Yao, who had no choice but to wear a cotton-padded jacket in the summer, and took out a fan to fan Song Yao. I really think our sister Yao is quite good. Looking at Song Yao's sullen face, Pei Yunj couldn't help but chuckle and coax her again. Song Yao deliberately remained expressionless. You think I'm suitable to play the White Lotus? Pei Yunj suppressed her smile and was quite sincere. I think you're suitable to play the first love. Song Yao's temperament was indeed too clean, and she looked gentle and weak. It made people feel that she was not mainstream, and could not play the role of the main female lead. Therefore, she could only play the second female lead. And at the side, the director looked at an extremely beautiful and bright girl. and said something in Song Yao's ear with a smile, making Song Yao's ears turn red. The scene was so sweet that it was even more eye-catching than the scene where the main male and female lead were exchanging candy. The director walked over and sighed. "My Song, why don't you let your friend act with you to get the feeling? Just now, I asked you to play the White Lotus sister who fawns over the male lead, but you gave me the feeling that you don't love men. Do you think you're worthy of your face?" Song Yao. Pei Yunj lowered her head at the side. "What are you laughing at?" Song Yao was a little angry and bumped Pei Yunj's shoulder lightly. However, Pei Yunj took the opportunity to lean on Song Yao's shoulder and laughed so hard that her shoulders trembled. Pei Yunj leaned against Song Yao lazily, and her tone sounded quite sad. If it wasn't for her beautiful eyes that were captivating, no one would know. "Tian, you're treating me too badly." No one knew if she was complaining or acting coquettishly. This was too ostentatious. The female stage supervisor's eyes lit up, and they almost howled out loud. What kind of damned beautiful love was this? Something was wrong. Something was wrong. Could this be the legendary Restless Gold, who gave Song Yao his famous watch? But he was treating Song Yao's younger sister too well. He wasn't impatient with Song Yao at all. Instead, he was acting coquettishly, emptying his health bar. The director glanced at the plastic male and female lead who were acting with each other not far away, then looked at Pei Yunj who was leaning on Song Yao's shoulder. His emotions were indescribable. I lost. Yesterday, when they were filming the kissing scene between the male and female lead, the stage supervisor's gazes were empty and lifeless. But now? The stage supervisors who had stayed up all day to film the makeup scenes last night had their eyes light up when they saw Song Yao and Luo Sang leaning against each other. Pei Yunj respected Song Yao's acting career, and was acting with Song Yao at the side. For some reason, Song Yao was able to get into the zone easily. She was shy, dazed, and stuttered as she was slapped on the head. It wasn't the disgusting green tea, but the true feeling of first love. This feels so right. The director was surprised and couldn't help but glance at Pei Yunj who was beside him. One had to admit that Pei Yunj's aura was really strong. Although she was a girl, saying such scummy words of love did not maintain the peace at all. On the contrary, it made people want to fall into her hands and crazily want to date her. This face is too confusing. Is she a newcomer? The scriptwriter next to him couldn't help but sigh. Director, why don't you consider giving them a socialist sisterhood? I think it'll be a hit. Director. Can King afford it? The watch she gave Song Yao is already worth tens of millions. She's the mysterious sugar daddy? The scriptwriter had a look of, I've actually hit the real deal on his face. He was in disbelief and excitement. Chapter 1180. When it was almost done, the director hurried over. Song Yao, didn't you act pretty well? Why can't you match up with Wang Kai? Song Yao's eyebrows twitched at the thought of Wang Kai, who was playing the male lead. She suppressed the nausea in her stomach. Every time they filmed, Wang Kai liked to take the opportunity to act with Song Yao and take advantage of her. Pei Yunj also saw Song Yao's expression, which was quickly restrained, but she didn't say anything. Suddenly, a rather handsome man walked over. His expression, which he thought was the most handsome, made him look a little greasy. Director, is Yao Yao and I going to act together next? This nickname was very suggestive, and Pei Yunj's gaze turned cold. She looked up and glanced at Wang Kai. Suddenly she asked, "What's this? The male lead?" Wang Kai's face froze. Initially, when he saw Pei Yunj beside Song Yao, he felt an itch in his heart. He didn't know where Song Yao got such a beautiful friend from. But before he could show off in front of Pei Yunj, he heard Pei Yunj's question. Those who didn't know better would think that he was a plaything. Wang Kai, come, I'll bring you to meet Song Yao's sugar daddy, Abu friend. The director immediately pulled Wang Kai over and teased him. The director was a smart man. Obviously, he didn't want Wang Kai to get into a conflict with Pei Yunj here. He was indirectly telling Wang Kai not to provoke Pei Yunj. Wang Kai could only put on a fake smile. Hello, I'm the male lead of this movie, Wang Kai. Pei Yunj only raised his eyes slightly. Half of his eyes seemed to be immersed in the shadows under the tree. His aura was already difficult to approach. Hello, I'm Pei Yunj who doesn't like it when people try to get close to Miss Song. Song Yao, the director. The surrounding floor attendants almost went crazy. They couldn't suppress their excitement. F***ck, this greeting is so good, sister. It's a bomb. Wang Kai is so pitiful. His aura is completely crushed. Where did Song Yao's sugar daddy get it from? I want the same type. Is there anyone willing to share it with me? Wang Kai could only put on a sullen smile. Miss Pei is really good at joking. Pei Yunj tilted her head back and finished the water. Then, she casually twisted the mineral water bottle into a strip and casually threw it into the bin. She smiled lazily. Is that so? I'm not a person who can take stimulation. I can send anyone who dares to touch her to the hospital. Why don't you try? As soon as she finished speaking, she smashed the mineral water bottle into the bin. Everyone shuddered. At this moment, the atmosphere around them turned cold. Everyone suddenly came to their senses when they saw the irritable look in Pei Yunj's eyes and the faint smile on her face. Big bosses didn't act coquettishly in front of just anyone. Other than Song Yao, the others could only get beaten up. Song Yao tugged at the hem of Pei Yunj's shirt. Only then did Pei Yunj's face warm up a little. Don't scare people. Song Yao couldn't help but laugh. She stuffed another candy into Pei Yunj's mouth. Peel it yourself. My hands are dirty. Seeing this, everyone thought that Song Yao would be angry when she treated Big Boss so casually. However, Pei Yunj really picked up the lychee-flavored lollipop and slowly peeled it. However, before the others could be surprised, they saw Pei Yunj call out again. Song Yao instinctively turned around. She wanted to ask something, but Pei Yunj suddenly stuffed the candy into Song Yao's mouth. She snorted lazily. Who are you trying to fool? P.S. Good night. Chapter 1181. F***ck. Their defense was broken. Everyone was caught off guard by this handful of sweets. Was it fun to throw sweets in front of them? However, Wang Kai's expression was dark and embarrassed. He was extremely unwilling to see a woman steal his limelight. Little Kai, don't take it too hard. The director patted him on the shoulder. Wang Kai did not say anything else. Pei Yunj spent the entire afternoon watching Song Yao's scenes. The gaze of death fell on Wang Kai. So much so that Wang Hua did not dare to touch Pei Yunj at all. He was afraid that Pei Yunj would come up and twist his neck like how she twisted the mineral water bottle earlier. After filming, Pei Yunj had originally planned to leave with Song Yao. However, she heard that the production crew had made a last-minute arrangement. According to Song Yao's explanation, a friend of the director had organized an esports live broadcast. They had arranged for a professional player to compete against a popular production crew. In the end, on the same day, more than half of the actors who had signed a contract with the production crew had left. Hence, Song Yao's director wanted to take advantage of the situation and help the production crew gain some popularity. It's a good thing. Everyone buck up. Perform well later. The director said excitedly. Pei Yunj stood at the side. Her finger pressed against the area between her thumb and index finger. Her beautiful eyes narrowed slightly as she looked at the director. The director's smile suddenly froze. He felt that his life was in danger. Song Yao's temper was indeed not that good. It should only take an hour. After the match, I'll accompany you to buy desserts. I still have the chocolates that I bought for you last time in my car. After Song Yao said that, the director felt that the danger was gradually disappearing. I don't really eat sweet things like this. That was what Pei Yunj said. Yeah, I really can't eat anymore. Do me a favor. Song Yao casually found an excuse for Pei Yunj. True enough. When they arrived at the venue, a few female stage supervisors saw that Pei Yunj was like a man. She carried a bag of snacks and happily walked to the first row with both hands in her pockets. The stage supervisor asked hesitantly, Song, this person in your family usually has a rather bad temper, right? Song Yao's lips curved. Occasionally, when I don't have time to bother with her, she will throw a tantrum. Usually she's very easy to coax. The stage supervisor was speechless. Was there something wrong with her mind? Why was it getting more and more out of control? Not long after, all the audience members had arrived. The live stream also started. As expected, the audience began to complain when they did not see the popular female lead. The netizens in the live stream were even more exasperated. It was only when the camera swept past, and they saw Song Yao's first love face that some people were comforted. Is that Song Yao? Is that Song Yao? I'm shocked. When did she join the production team? She seems to be the second female lead in the production team of the CEO's Taboo X Love Next Door. The two production teams are going to compete together? Isn't this deliberately boosting Lei Ju's traffic? Song Yao's face is too limiting. She can't play the female lead at all. Forget it, my sister has a godly face too. I'll let her compete, as long as she's not too noob. Are you crazy? Why do you have to invite a group of actors to compete? Stop faking it in the esports industry. Don't say that. Wang Kai is very good at gaming. He used to be a youth trainee in the RS team. Later on, his family did not allow him to. Hearing this, the others were a little hopeful. Meanwhile, the esports fans were too lazy to turn on their microphones. They only paid attention to the two esports teams at the back, hoping to see them compete. However, as the camera swept past, a sharp-eyed veteran esports fan suddenly stared at the girl in the first row who was wearing a mask and staring at a paper bag. The girl in the first row looks familiar. I think I've seen her somewhere. Chapter 1182. Did I see wrongly? The veteran esports fan hesitantly sent a message, thinking that no one would reply. Then someone quietly replied. I think I saw it too. Is it Yishun? Very soon. The conversation between the veteran esports fans was flooded. The other esports fans didn't notice their conversation. And the netizens who came to join in the fun didn't know who Yishun was either. Wang Kai's wife is so handsome. Brother Kai's face is torn apart. Faced with this group of fans' brainless praises, the rest of the fans turned off their microphones in order to avoid being slandered. However, the esports fans couldn't take it anymore. Oh. Are your eyes blind? Song Yao is sitting next to you. Who are you calling a beauty? Is this the standard of Song Yao's fans? Even the senior is trying to scam? Is the fandom nowadays like this? She's ugly and greasy to begin with. Why can't people talk about her? What's wrong with them? If Song Yao's fans were that bold, would Song Yao be scolded so badly by them? Song Yao's fans who were peeping. Oh, the argument between Song Yao's fans and Wang Kai's fans had happened a few days ago. Everyone still remembered it. However, because Song Yao had very few fans, she was scolded badly by Wang Kai's fans. Words like pimping on women, green tea bitch seducing their brother, get out of the entertainment industry, flooded Song Yao's comment section. However, Song Yao had always been in a good mood. She didn't mind it too much and didn't tell Pei Yunj about it. Some of the netizens felt their hearts ache, especially when they found out that Song Yao was preparing for her college entrance examination. Although Song Yao had a pure and innocent face, she had never played tricks and didn't like to talk to the male actors in the production team. So much so that her fans wondered if Song Yao had no interest in men. Until a while ago, the paparazzi took a photo of Wang Kai hugging Song Yao. Song Yao was scolded so badly that she lost 2 endorsement deals that she had gone to great lengths to sign. Preparations for the competition. Wang Kai seemed to finally be able to hold his head high. He smiled confidently and didn't forget to glance at Pei Yunj, who was not far away, with a contemptuous expression. After that, Wang Kai borrowed an account from an esports player he was close with and logged into the competition venue. The atmosphere was heated up. F*CK, Brother Kai is using the account of HK Team Kaka. They actually know each other? Just by looking at his appearance, Wang Kai is indeed amazing. He actually managed to borrow Kaka's account. While the esports fans commented on it, Wang Kai's fans didn't forget to insult Song Yao. Song Yao is so good at sticking to others. Did he stick to any esports player? Get someone to give him an account? Are you Wang Kai fans sick in the head? It's none of your business whose account Song Yao borrows. I'm dying of laughter. Song Yao's fans are too bad-mouthed. Who said they are Wang Kai fans? Don't randomly use fan accounts. During the discussion, Wang Kai even asked Song Yao magnanimously, do you know any professional players? If you use a private account, it's unlikely that you'll be able to win. It's okay if you don't. I can. A private account is pretty good too. Thank you. Song Yao thanked him casually. After a while, she suddenly thought of something. The last time she begged Pei Yunj to help her get an account, Pei Yunj had secretly changed her ID. Her name was even called Master Pei's Little Fairy. Song Yao. Not long after, Pei Yunj, who was in the first row, received Song Yao's message. Sister Yao. Yungu? Question mark. Sister Yao. Do you have an account to lend to me? Pei Yunj took a while to react. Then, she remembered what she had done previously. Pei Yunj looked up and saw Song Yao looking at her expressionlessly. Chapter 1183. Pei Yungu immediately replied. Yungu, yes. Pei Yungu handed over his account and password to Song Yao with both hands. At this moment, after being rejected, Wang Kai sneered and crossed his arms, waiting for Song Yao to make a fool of himself. The other actresses in the crew asked the esports players on the spot to help them borrow an account. Only Song Yao was arrogant. He wanted to see what low-level account Song Yao was going to take out. Song Yao still didn't know what account he had in his hand, nor had he played a duo with Pei Yungu. However, under Wang Kai's dazzling display, the other members of the crew borrowed the accounts of some small teams, which were not eye-catching. No one was interested either. Until the next moment, Song Yao obediently logged in according to the account password. Suddenly, a special entrance effect of a max-level account appeared on the screen. Because the venue was meticulously prepared, it was almost a semi-projection of 3D. It was cool and shocking. Welcome, earn 100 million first, to the team competition. Many people who didn't know this nickname subconsciously looked at the win rate. Win rate, 100%. A max-level account actually had a 100% win rate? Everyone's hair stood on end. F***CK, I'm not dreaming. A boss with a max-level account? Kaka doesn't seem to be at the max level yet. F***CK, 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 F***CK. It's Ishan's account, it's Ishan. Song Yao is awesome. There's actually someone who can get the account of Ishan? How did he do it? At this time, Wang Kai's fans started to make a few untimely remarks. TSK, the tea master is amazing. How else can he get it? He just has to sleep with her. However, the effect of these words far exceeded everyone's expectations. Although Ishan's fans were very easygoing, their numbers were unexpectedly large, and they immediately beat up Wang Kai's fans. You look at your brother's mutilated face every day, and your ego has gone to your head, right? Who doesn't know that I, Ishan, am a girl? Ha 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 ha. When Ishan beckons, your brother can only get Neely if he wants to get the number tag of love. Don't touch my noble and cool Ishan, thank you. F***CK, Sister Yao made it real just to get the Ishan account? Noble and cool Ishan abused his heart to chase after his wife. I've already come up with a novel about a tycoon's forbidden love. It's much better than that CEO's forbidden love. Stop it. Stop it. She's an unknown actress a popular esports god. If Sister Yao can get Ishan to come out and play a match today, I'm willing to grit my teeth and finish watching this ridiculous drama of hers. I'll offer up some meager viewership ratings. Plus 10086. This was the first time Wang Kai had been scolded so much that she was speechless. She clearly realized that this Ishan was an existence that she could not afford to offend. Although many people on the internet did not like to talk about being a couple, they could tell that Ishan and Song Yao had a very good relationship. Otherwise, she would not have borrowed his account. Therefore, they turned a blind eye to the couple's behavior. However, the scene was out of control. What's going on? Song, where did you get a max-level account? The female lead beside her was also stunned. Song Yao was speechless. She did not expect that the account that Pei Yunj gave her would be a max-level account. It was the popular one in the esports circle. Earn 100 million first. Song Yao did not dare to look up at Pei Yunj. She could only see from the corner of her eye that Pei Yunj was sleeping while avoiding the camera. However, she could not sleep well either. This was because of the incessant screams in the arena. Ah, it's Ishan. I'm going crazy. No one had expected that an ordinary esports celebrity show would be able to get a Ishan account. Chapter 1184. Sister Yao, you're awesome. Someone below the stage shouted excitedly. Song Yao, who was unaware of the situation. Sister Yao. I beg you, let Billion Deity come out and compete. Sister Yao, has Billion Deity stayed at your house before? Someone suddenly asked. In the end, someone started to jeer. Song Yao. Not only had he stayed at my house, but he was also sitting in the first row watching the competition. Sister Yao, let Billion Deity come out and compete. I'm willing to watch your new drama 10 times. I'll open 10 computers for you to watch. I'll book an entire internet cafe for you to watch. At this moment, everyone in the production crew realized what it meant to be the most popular. Meanwhile, Wang Kai's expression was extremely ugly. He had not expected that Song Yao would actually get Billion Deity's account. Some people in the live stream also reacted. I think I saw Billion Deity just now. She's in the front row. Me too. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Everyone in the live stream was begging the cameraman to move to the first row. Unfortunately, the cameraman did not watch the live stream, which made Billion Deity's fans howl in anger. At this moment, the director was also confused. Who is Billion Deity? The scriptwriter rolled his eyes. A super godly esports big boss. Although she doesn't really participate in competitions, she's very popular, almost on par with Almighty Qin. Also, Billion Deity's popularity overseas is much higher than in China. She's the top 1 player on the K-continent's leaderboard. She's that good. The director was shocked. The scriptwriter laughed coldly. Let me tell you, Song Yao is going to come out of the closet one day, saying that she's with Billion Deity. Do you believe that this godly drama of yours will explode in all directions? Director. On the stage, the esports players of the 2 teams were also silent. F***CK, Billion Deity's account. Who dared to move? This can they still play? Someone asked cautiously and hesitantly. If they mess with Song Yao, would Billion Deity open the main god's map overnight and come after them with a knife? These words were recorded, but uncharacteristically, no one in the live stream blamed the players for going easy on them. Ha 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 ha, Sister Yao has become a god, with Billion Deity backing her. You really can't blame the players, Billion Deity is famous for shielding her, ha ha ha. Don't be a coward, bro. Go and cut down Billion Deity's win rate now. Then immediately start the live stream and let Billion Deity cut you down. The live stream will definitely be full. Do you understand the password to wealth? We're earning money from licking blood from the edge of a knife. Damn, the sister above is so ruthless, ha ha ha. Now that you mention it, I think Billion Deity really spoils Sister Yao. Who would be willing to lend her a 100% win rate? Finally, when the competition began, even the organizers did not expect that the live stream would be paralyzed. Therefore, they discussed to have professional players and celebrities mix and match, and they could also hire external help. Hearing that, everyone started contacting external help. Wang Kai invited Xiaoji, which attracted a lot of attention. But after all, Billion Deity had appeared before them, so they were not that surprised. Meanwhile, Song Yao was hesitating. She did not want Pei Yunj to owe others a favor on her behalf. But not long after, suddenly, someone sent her a message, and the dialog box was directly displayed on the screen. HK Team Yoi. This person from Billion Deity's family? Do you need external help? How about me? Everyone was shocked. Wasn't this the captain of HK Team? However, before they could calm down, another big shot came to ask. RS Team Daicheng. Miss Song Yao, do you need external help? I can fly with you too, then. Song Yao was pulled into a group, and it was filled with the top big shots in the industry. RS Team Zheng brothers, don't fight over it. There are still a few competitions left, and everyone is here to show their face to Billion Deity. There's no need to make things awkward, right? P.S. Good night. End of this chapter. Chapter 1185. When the other players saw the ferocious speech in the Big Shots group chat, they were even more shocked. You're already such a big shot, yet you've never thought about being a human? And you're even going to Billion Deity to show your face? The people in the live stream almost stopped breathing from laughing. I really didn't expect that my big shot, Jin, would become a lackey leader one day. Why do I feel like laughing so much? F***CK, a big shot playing with us? What kind of dream is this of a billion esports fans? Sob sob sob, Yao Yao has grown up. She actually got billion deity. I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. Yao Yao has suddenly turned into a queen, and is choosing a big shot to play with. Billion deity, you'll really fall into the hands of a woman if you pamper her so much. You'll fall into the hands of a woman. Spectre's muttering. Ha 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 ha, I give up. This time, Wang Kai's fans are so angry that their hearts are hurting. Indeed. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai's fans turned off their microphones. Even Song Yao's agent, who was originally waiting in the limousine, accidentally clicked on Song Yao's personal account and realized that something was amiss. It was still 10.5 million yesterday. Now it had soared to 16 million. And it was still breaking through. It had only been a few hours. Song Yao's agent reacted and immediately clicked on the comment section where Song Yao was being scolded. He did not expect the scene to change. The hot comments were all about Song Yao and billion deity. What's the relationship between Song and billion deity? Song Yao's agent was still puzzled. Scrolling down to read the comments, not only were billion deity's fans happy, but there were also Wang Kai's fans who had scolded Song Yao previously. However, they were torn apart by billion deity's fans and did not dare to retort. Billion deity's friendship, love, will be protected by us. No. Sister Yao, please do a good deed and let billion deity come out to compete. This child has not seen Daddy Billion in a long time. Sob sob sob. Billion deity's family is seducing your brother? An unknown celebrity is trying to make trouble with my top esports girl? Puzzled. Song Yao's agent's eyes were unfocused. She suddenly felt that the world had become unfamiliar. At the same time, on the stage, with a big shot leading the way, Song Yao's team members were indeed winning without doing anything. However, they did not expect that halfway through the match, Daichung and Kaka would be fighting energetically. Wang Kai did not know what was on his mind, but he was only chasing after Song Yao's account. Although Song Yao's maneuvering was not bad, she was indeed not as good as Wang Kai, who had almost entered Team 2. Billion deity's winning rate was cut down. The live broadcast room was extremely distressed. Everyone was scolding Wang Kai. What's wrong with Wang Kai? Chasing after Song Yao and attacking? No way, no way. Cutting down billion deity's account can satisfy his pleasure? Esports fans were more or less biased. After all, in their hearts, billion deity was an incomparable big shot. He was in existence on the same level as Almighty Qin. Especially when they saw Wang Kai apologizing with a greasy smile, while beating up Song Yao. Billion deity is so great? He can't even touch her? Esports players can't even afford to play. What a joke. Who can't afford to play? He doesn't dare to provoke other esports players, so he chases after a female celebrity. Is he very cool? After the match, Daiching easily crushed Kaka, but Song Yao was also abused very badly. According to the score of this round, Song Yao's team lost. Song Yao, follow me later, Daichung said indifferently. Song Yao smiled faintly. No need. She followed Daichung. Daichung had to destroy a tower with a human head and protect her. She was going to lose the next round. Daichung did not say anything. When the next round started, Daichung tried his best to control the time and kill Kaka as soon as possible. Chapter 1186. But Daichung was also a little angry. He wanted to kill Wang Kai first, but Kaka kept pestering him. These two didn't seem to want to win. They just wanted to deliberately increase Billion God's chances of winning. Who was they trying to disgust? And the mission that Billion Gods gave them was to just bring Song Yao to win. Seeing that Billion God's chances of winning had dropped to 99%, Billion God's fans almost exploded. And the people in the first row just looked at the screen indifferently. Song Yao's team still had a good chance of winning. Currently it was 2-1. Song Yao, if you can't do it, then hide over to my side. Daiching didn't forget to say to Song Yao. Song Yao responded and could only deal with Wang Kai, who was sticking to her. But 10 minutes later, No one expected that Song Yao would suddenly go all out. While Wang Kai wasn't paying attention, she used a skill and the two of them ended the match. F***ck, Sister Yao is pretty good. She's a bit like Billion Gods. She has a pure and harmless face, but she's using the most ruthless moves. As expected of someone who was taught by Billion Gods. Yes, Wang Kai was a youth trainee after all. It's good enough that he could draw. Sigh, I was originally a fan of Wang Kai, but now no matter how I look at it, I feel disgusted. This match, Song Yao actually didn't have it easy. Opposite her, Wang Kai's expression was a little ugly. Clearly, he hadn't expected that Song Yao would play this move without a care for her life. But with Song Yao finishing off Wang Kai, Daiqing still won. The stadium was filled with cheers. Sister Yao is so strong. Someone shouted to cheer for Song Yao. Upon seeing this, the person in the first row, who was pulling his hat to cover his eyes, could not help but curl his lips lazily, mouthing two words to Song Yao, not bad. Song Yao felt a little embarrassed. As for the rest, many of them felt sorry for the soft-hearted girl who was trying to perish together with her opponent. Hence, suddenly, they heard someone shouting at the top of his voice. Billion Gods, are you sure you can do it? Are you going to watch as your wife is being abused? Pei Yunj was speechless. Immediately afterward, the originally angry atmosphere was instantly amused, and became much more harmonious. No one was sure whether Billion Gods was present or not. They just wanted to cheat and see. However, no one noticed that a few minutes later, the person in the first row really put on his coat lazily, lowered his hat and walked toward the door. Song Yao glanced in the direction where Pei Yunj had left, and did not think much of it. He was prepared to rest for a while before starting the next round. Backstage. Song, I'm a fan of Billion Gods. Can I have Billion Gods' contact information? The female lead asked excitedly. Song Yao hesitated. Gee, I'll go back and ask? Oh really? Thank you Song. The female lead's eyes lit up. When the others heard this, they immediately pounced forward to inquire. Song Yao was tight-lipped. She knew how to protect Pei Yunj's identity. She smiled warmly and stealthily changed the topic. Until she returned to the stage. Originally, it was Jian who wanted to go on stage and bring Song Yao along. However, just before the team was formed, Song Yao suddenly saw a message request. User XCYGY had requested to join the team battle. It was a SMUF account with no level. Before Song Yao could react, there was a burst of excited screams from the audience. Billion Gods! Song Yao came back to her senses and realized that the first letter was spelled, earn 100 million first. The live stream exploded. F***ck, Billion Gods is really here? Isn't this the spelling of a SMUF Billion Gods? Ha 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 ha, isn't Wang Kai going to die? Chapter 1187. Are Wang Kai's fans ready? Ah, I'm going to die. Yishen is actually here. Sob, the woman at the top of the esports food chain. There were more and more people in the livestream room. Even the hashtag Song Yao Yishen had rushed to the top of the trending search list. Then half of the esports circle was mobilized just to watch Yishen's livestream. Wang Kai's expression was ugly. The hand that was holding the mouse was trembling slightly. Even though he had left the circle, he knew what kind of status Yishen had in the circle. But, was it really Yishen? At this moment, Song Yao hesitated for a moment, and sent a message to XCYGY. Where are you? After typing this sentence, Song Yao deleted it again and sent another sentence. What happened to you? The people in the livestream room were scratching their heads as they looked at the chat box. In the internet cafe, Pei Yunj casually put his jacket aside and threw the plastic bag to the side. Then, he leisurely typed on the keyboard. I have to do it. I can't watch my family get beaten up. Just as this message was sent, Song Yao could almost imagine this person's mischievous look. But because Pei Yunj was responding to what he had just said, there was another round of excited screams. Yishen would also joke in private. But in the eyes of the audience, Yishen and a soft girl like Song Yao were together. It was as if Yishen was bullying Song Yao every day. But there was actually a bit of flirting. Song Yao gathered her thoughts and looked at the others. she asked politely. That can she be our external help? Everyone was speechless. Was this AF asterisk King 360-degree spiraling technique okay? But there were also people who were worried. Yishun is opening a new account. Isn't the level difference too big? There's no need to look down on others. After all, Kaka is still very powerful. Yishun's maneuvering is a little funny. Following that, Song Yao connected to her mic. She tried to ask, is the new account okay? Unexpectedly, the other party had already used a voice changer to adjust his voice. You can't say that I can't. Song Yao was speechless. There was laughter in the live streaming room. Ha 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 ha. Yishun is openly flirting. I've reported him. Sister Yao, the pretty girl is speechless. Song Yao's eyelids twitched. She was a little worried that Pei Yunj would put her reputation on the line. I'm serious. There are professional players on the other side. That person's lazy voice could be heard leisurely. Do you still need to look at who the other party is? As soon as he finished speaking, the atmosphere immediately exploded. Ah, my Yishun has cracked. He has exploded. My Yishun has fallen. The competition was about to begin. Wang Kai took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He did not believe that anyone could use a smurf account to compete with a professional player who was close to the maximum level. At the thought of this, Wang Kai's gaze was fixed on Pei Yunj. There was a strange glint in his eyes. As long as he could kill Yishun in this round, he would definitely attract a lot of attention. He could even let the company buy trending searches and trample on Yishun, who was worshipped by everyone, to gain more attention and popularity. At the same time, compared to Dai Cheng and the others who were present just now, Song Yao also ran to Pei Yunj's side very naturally. Ha 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 ha, Sister Yao is openly hugging his thigh. She was still cold to Dai Cheng just now. Once Yishun returned, Sister Yao changed. I don't believe that there's nothing fishy about this. Seeing Song Yao using Yishun's account to seek protection from a level 0 smurf account, the scene was inexplicably hilarious. Chapter 1188. When Wang Kai saw this scene, he sneered. He was controlling his character to deal with the others nearby. But 3 minutes later, XCYGY effortlessly took the first clear on Kaka. The strongest esports player in the team was sliced like a cabbage in the hands of this person? It made the other opponent's hair stand on end. Damn. What kind of walking human head reaper was this? F***CK, 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 Kaka who achieved the first kill in 3 minutes at level 0? This is fucking cheating. 100 million deities basic operation sit down. Ha ho ha 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 ha. Million gods. That's it? Okay, now everyone can watch and see what it means to bring a girl to play. I've earned it, I've earned it. I can actually see million gods in a celebrity show. Then came the next. The screen showed a level 0 alt account slowly harvesting heads. She seemed to be operating it effortlessly. It was as if the battlefield was her home ground. As for the audience, they were so shocked that their blood was boiling when they saw Million Gods operation. This was a true level 0 alt account crushing the whole field and beating them with her strength. But very soon, the audience realized the problem. The last person left was Wang Kai. He was the warrior who chased after Song Yao in the previous 2 rounds. Wang Kai was so nervous that his hand that was holding the mouse was sweating. At this moment, Pei Yunj finished the last cut and turned to look at Wang Kai. He asked in a calm and leisurely voice, "Friend, I heard that you're very good at hacking?" Wang Kai was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. His mind was in a mess and his back was getting cold. Obviously, Million Gods was here to support Song Yao. Ha 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 ha, Million Gods, your grudge is too obvious. Light a stick of incense for warrior Wang Kai. It's been a long time since someone has been remembered by Million Gods. In this Lifetime series, I actually ate the candy given by Million Gods. Subsequently, Pei Yunj threw away the weapon with high damage and randomly picked up a low-level weapon. Wang Kai gritted his teeth and made up his mind. He planned to learn from Song Yao and fight it out with Pei Yunj. No matter what, it could be considered as a slap to Million God's face. But he did not expect that Pei Yun's control and positioning would be faster. He was unable to use his high-end skill points after this move left him in a critical condition. Kaka, who was watching the battle from the side, felt his scalp go numb. He recalled the time when Pei Yun destroyed his camp with 5 kills in half a minute. Million Gods was still Million Gods. He was simply not human. What's the hurry? Don't be in a hurry to die. Pei Yun's tone was leisurely, as if he was teasing, but there was no warmth in it. Subsequently, others saw that Pei Yun's slash only left a little bit of Wang Kai's HP. This was not killing, it was killing. In such a big public place, Pei Yun only left Wang Kai alone. He slowly slashed his HP bit by bit. Opposite him, Wang Kai's face was green and red. His hands were holding onto the keyboard, and his entire body was trembling with anger. The fans in the live streaming room also began to curse. What does Million Gods mean? Just because you are a professional player, you humiliate an artist like this? Do you have any upbringing? That's too intolerant, isn't it? Is this the attitude of a god in the esports circle? He's openly targeting Wang Kai. However, Million Gods fans had long been displeased with Wang Kai because of the fact that his winning percentage had been slashed. Is it a dog who is chasing after Song Yao? Puzzled. You don't have to care about what happens in the esports circle. When Million Gods was winning glory for the country, your brother was probably still repairing his face in the factory. It's good that you know this is the esports circle. Here, being noob is the original sin. P.S. Good night. Can I get some monthly votes from this kid today? Chapter 1189. Most of Wang Kai's fans did not know how many fans Yishin had. However, at this moment, when they saw Yishin's fans flooding the livestream with one sentence, they felt helpless. They knew that they had provoked a big shot. Then, Pei Yun slowly hacked for more than 10 minutes before he completely sent Wang Kai away. It was a crushing victory. In the next round, Pei Yun repeated the same action. Wang Kai was so angry that he almost threw his mouse and left. However, the director immediately pulled him back and persuaded him. If his relationship with Yishin became strained, it would be impossible for him to establish an esports persona in the future. Wang Kai took a deep breath and could only endure it. There were people in the livestream who could not help but sigh. Yishin is really arrogant. It can't be helped. A lot of people like her. It's human nature to admire the strong. When Yishin was playing in a professional competition, even the boss of the opposing team came to support Yishin. This is top-notch. Yishin is lawless. Yishin is lawless. Plus 10,086. You're blaming your girlfriend for dragging you down. Come and take a good look. Yishin is leading the entire team. To be honest, it's so cool to be led by Yishin. As long as Yao Yao's sister is injured, Yishin will cripple her. This esports friendship is so damn sweet. After 3 rounds, Wang Kai's expression was ugly. He went straight to Song Yao's resting room to apologize to her. Song Yao raised her eyebrows in surprise. Then, she saw Pei Yun leaning against the door from the corner of her eyes. Got it. You can go back. Song Yao responded politely. After Wang Kai left, she was silent for a moment. You, Yishin? Song Yao played God Maps too. She knew what level Yishin was in the esports circle. But she did not expect Yishin to be by her side. He even worked tirelessly to help her level up. Pei Yun rubbed the back of her fair neck. She did not meet Song Yao's gaze. I think so. Song Yao. The atmosphere was silent again. If you tell me one day that you're Yishin, I might not be surprised, Song Yao said slowly. She could not tell if she was angry or not. Pei Yun. Song Yao had always been interested in Yishin. The reason was that Yishin had been her recommendation. If Pei Yun had not stopped her, Song Yao might have wanted to learn computer science to be closer to Yishin. Pei Yun let out an ah and quickly changed the topic. Later, my brother will come to find me. Song Yao did not need to think to know which brother it was. Pei Yun even asked, want to have a meal together? Song Yao. We'll talk about it later. If your brother comes, you can leave with him first. Song Yao really thought so. Pei Yun, on the other hand, did not know if Song Yao was angry or not, so she stayed. After the competition ended, Pei Yunj sat in the first row with her eyes closed. She crossed her arms lazily and dozed off. Song Yao had just sat on Pei Yunj's left when she realized that there was a man sitting on Pei Yunj's right. Under the dim lights, the man's light-colored eyes were devoid of emotion. His outstanding looks made one unable to take their eyes off him. He looked at Pei Yunj next to her lazily. His well-defined hand was carrying the bag of snacks for Pei Yunj. Pei Yunj's hand was still hooked around the bag. She did not realize that the weight was wrong. Suddenly, Pei Yunj's head leaned towards Song Yao. He leaned on her shoulder steadily. Song Yao felt Huashida's gaze shift. The next moment, Song Yao sensibly stretched out her index finger and gently tapped on Pei Yunj's forehead, pushing it in the opposite direction. Pei Yunj leaned on the man's shoulder again. Chapter 1190. Song Yao tugged at her cloak and left without saying a word. Only then did the people around them realize that a handsome and noble man had appeared out of nowhere. He had actually beaten up Song Yao's bad-tempered friend and carried her up. Everyone's eyes widened. This was the official couple. Were they here to take it seriously? In the man's arms, the girl, whose face could not be seen clearly, placed her slender wrist lazily on the man's shoulder. She looked up at him with sleepy eyes. "Where are my snacks?" Huashida laughed. Sung Su took them. The man's body exuded a faint but unique fragrance. There was also a faint smell of tobacco. It was gentle and magical. His warmth spread from his chest, making one's heart palpitate uncontrollably. Pei Yunj's eyes were unclear, but a feeling called possessiveness suddenly welled up in her mind. She didn't want Huashidu to hug someone else like this again. Pei Yunj rarely interacted with Huashidu so intimately, especially in public. Although she enjoyed the steadiness of this embrace, she gradually woke up. She looked up and saw the man's clean and distinct jawline. His sexy Adam's apple was slightly protruding, and her heart couldn't help racing. "Brother, you should put me down." Although Pei Yunj noticed that Sung Su had a numb and natural expression on his face, she felt inexplicably awkward. Pei Yunj, who was used to not being a person, felt guilty for the first time. Huashidu had always respected Pei Yunj's wishes, so he agreed. However, for some reason, Pei Yunj felt that the man's attitude towards her today was indifferent. Pei Yunj hesitated for a moment. Just as she was about to go over and pull the sleeve of his suit, the man avoided her, whether intentionally or unintentionally. "Pei Yunj? ? Did this dog have eyes in the back of his head?" However, the next moment, Pei Yunj received Song Yao's message and opened it. "Yao Mimi, your brother's gaze is too scary bitter." Song Yao met the gaze of death for the first time. "Yunge? Yunge. He's showing me the greatest respect by not going out to seduce others." Pei Yunj had always felt that Huashidu was polite and gentle to everyone. In layman's terms, the dog seemed to be flirting with everyone. "Sister Yao, you're wrong. Sister Yao, if you keep this attitude, your brother will devour you until not even your bones are left." Although Song Yao did not have much experience, this was the first time she had met a man like Huashidu. Although he did not seem to care about anything, it seemed that only Pei Yunj was present. His peripheral vision was always on her. Moreover, when Pei Yunj leaned on her shoulder just now, Song Yao could almost feel how scary the man's gaze was. If she was a man, Song Yao did not doubt that Huashidu would cripple her. When Pei Yunj saw the message, the corners of her eyes twitched slightly. "What a mess. Sister Yao, Gur, don't treat a wolf like a little wolf dog. There's a difference between a wolf and a dog." The way that man looked at Pei Yunj was obviously possessive. However, Pei Yunj still fooled around every day without knowing anything. She was not afraid that she would not regret it when the time came. Song Yao's advice was meaningless. Pei Yunj, who had nothing to do every day, fooled around, turned off her phone again. Looking at the man's slender and good-looking back view, the corners of her lips curled up slightly. It was a little familiar. Before the man could react, he suddenly heard a soft sound behind him, accompanied by Pei Yunj's voice. The man instinctively turned his head, but was bumped into by someone. Chapter 1191. Huashidu instinctively reached out to hold her arm. When he lifted his eyes, he saw her smiling at him. He said lazily, "What are you doing?" Are you trying to blackmail me? Nothing. Pei Yunj smiled and stood on her tiptoes to look at him. I'm touching you, brother. Sing Su's eyelids twitched. Miss Yunji's flirting skills were not bad at all. However, for some reason, Hoshidu was about to let go of her hand, but Pei Yunj held it tightly. The man stared at her for a while, but in the end he gave in and allowed her to lead him downstairs. However, as soon as they got downstairs, someone called Hoshidu. Pei Yunj could only hear the man lowering his voice and dealing with the person on the phone indifferently. I'll look for you in a few days. Okay. All right. The man didn't say anything, but Pei Yunj let go of Hoshidu's hand and sat in the passenger seat to wait for him. Hoshidu looked at her from the corner of his eye. He was about to sit in the driver's seat and take Pei Yunj to dinner. However, he saw Pei Yunj leaning against the window, tapping the window with her fingertips and staring at him with her beautiful eyes. The man was indeed the most eye-catching person in the crowd. Today, the man was wearing a black suit as usual, but inside he was wearing a blue cotton shirt. 2 buttons were loosened lazily, revealing his collarbone, which made his skin look dazzlingly fair. As he spoke on the phone, he glanced at her from the corner of his eye. The way he raised his eyebrows was inexplicably sexy and seductive. Sit properly and behave. Hoshida's words were obviously not directed at the person on the phone, but at her. And the person on the phone was silent for a moment. The next moment, Pei Yunj suddenly curved her lips, leaned half of her body out of the car window, and moved closer to the man. She raised her eyebrows and asked arrogantly, Hoshidu, who are you talking to? Sing Su, who was next to her, looked at Pei Yunj with the words, I'm up to no good, written all over her face. Miss Pei was out of control. Yu Hanran was silent for a moment on the phone. That ancestor of yours? She actually called Hoshidu by his full name. She was really spoiled by Hoshidu. The man chuckled softly and glanced at her casually. Yeah, he's not an ancestor. Just now, Yu Hanran was discussing how to get Hoshidu to help persuade the 2 elders of the Yu family to let Yu Manran go on a blind date. If this matter continued to develop, Yu Manran might really want to cut ties with the Yu family. And Pei Yunj felt that the other party had mentioned her on the phone, so she silently prepared to shrink back. But the next moment. Let's talk next time, I still have something to do. Hoshidu said casually and hung up the phone. He conveniently wrapped his arms around her slender waist again. He easily held her in place. She couldn't retreat even if she wanted to. Hoshidu threw the phone into his pocket and raised his alluring eyes. Pei Yunj also felt the man's fingertips on her waist, rubbing inch by inch. It was extremely ambiguous and deadly. You came out and want to shrink back without doing anything. Are you a tortoise? Pei Yunj. Out of the corner of her eye, Pei Yunj could already feel the gazes of the surrounding people. Pei Yunj's heart was beating like a drum, and she was a little stiff. The man's thin red lips curled up. The low laughter of a venomous person fell on her ears with ambiguous heat. You are so thin-skinned, little girl. Hoshidu was in a good mood. He stretched out his hand and pinched the young lady's cheek. Pei Yunj's face was burning red. Then, Hoshidu held the car window with one hand, and watched Pei Yunj sit back down before returning to the driver's seat. Chapter 1192. When Pei Yunj and Hoshidu left, Song Yao was standing at the door and saw what had just happened. Song Yao sighed softly. It was hopeless. Pei Yunj had been the top scorer in the country and old Madame Hua had been happy for an entire week. However, not long after, everyone saw that old Madame Hua was so happy that she wanted to take Pei Yunj out with her. Sung Su wanted to say something but hesitated. In the past few days, Master Du had specially assigned work to accompany Miss Pei out. Grandma, Union doesn't have time. Hoshidu hung up the phone and turned to look at her. What do you mean? Guer doesn't want to go out with me? After old Madame Hua finished speaking, she turned to look at Pei Yunj for confirmation. Pei Yunj rubbed the long hair at the back of her head. She had always been very patient with the older generation. She won't either. Look, Guer also wants to go out with me. Old Madame Hua was very arrogant and disdainful. If she doesn't want to go out with me, what's the point of going out with a man like you? Hoshidu. Auntie Miao's eyelids twitched. Usually, old Madame Ho was very smart and knew not to let anyone steal Miss Pei away. Why was it that Miss Pei had finally finished her college entrance examination and could finally spend some time with Mr. Hua? Why was she so muddle-headed? Old Madam, why don't you let Miss Pei go out with you after some time? Auntie Meow also quickly said. No. I'm going to take Guer shopping and watch a concert today. I've already prepared the tickets. Old Madame Ho insisted. Pei Yunj slowly rubbed the skin under her eyes with her fingertips. Okay, then when are we going out? Old Madame Ho was overjoyed when she heard that. Look, Guer is much more filial than you. Huashidu. Pei Yunj went upstairs to change her clothes. When she walked down, she found that Huashidu was the only one in the living room. Brother, aren't you going to work overtime at the company? Pei Yunj asked casually. The man grunted indifferently. At this moment, Pei Yunj suddenly realized. Could it be that Huashidu wasn't going to work and planned to accompany her? Pei Yunj. Not long after, Pei Yunj sat on the edge of the sofa and propped one hand in front of him. She smiled and asked in the man's ear. Then brother, are you going to pick me and Grandma up for dinner tonight? Huashidu could tell that the little girl was trying to coax him. He reached out lazily and pinched her chin. He suppressed the waves in his eyes and whispered in her ear in a low voice. His voice was slightly hoarse and very seductive. Don't coax her later. She'll take you to the old mansion again. His child was good at everything except for the unreasonable behavior of the older generation. This was the first time Pei Yunj had seen Huashidu being defeated. She suppressed the smile on her face and said, Okay. Huashidu looked at the girl in front of him. The faint fragrance on her body made his imagination run wild. He couldn't help but brush her lips with his fingertips, caressing them suggestively. Pei Yunj paused and heard him whisper in her ear, Don't coax others. Coax me more. In the car. I say, Shidu is getting more and more petty. Didn't I just ask you to accompany me out to play? Why didn't you come out to send me off? Old Madame Ho muttered. She turned her head and leaned over to ask. Guer, why don't you stay at the old mansion with me after the concert? Sung Su, who was driving, was speechless. Did old Madame not understand that if this went on, her family would be in danger? Chapter 1193. Although the Su family was indebted to the Hua family, and the Hua family would not do anything to the Su family, the new mistress of the Su family understood the situation very well. Sung Su had asked someone to send Madame Su the information of the unmarried young masters. Madame Su had already guessed what she should do. On the way to the company, Huashidu received a call. It was from Wuxia. I didn't ask yesterday, but I want to ask you today. Master Du, what do you mean? You called me junior brother again? Wuxia sounded displeased. Huashidu asked, What? The night before yesterday, I was also at the bar and saw you Jilin and Bei Yunj chatting. This is my junior brother when I was studying. I didn't even know that he had come to Yinqing recently. After Wuxia finished speaking, Huashidu completely understood. Yu Jilin should be the psychiatrist that the Computing Institute had found for Bei Yunj. Can he be treated in a bar? The man seemed to be talking to himself. His voice was very soft. However, Wuxia heard him clearly and answered his doubts. He might want to find a relaxing place for the patient to let down his guard. Besides, it's not like a bar is impossible. There are all kinds of people, and it's very easy to see a person's social adaptability. Hearing this, Huashidu curled his lips. Alright, I got it. Wuxia. Question mark. Was he not going to give him an explanation? If there's nothing else, I'll hang up first, the man said slowly. Wuxia immediately said, You're not going to give me an explanation? Between you and him, which professional ability is stronger? Huashidu raised his eyebrows and asked again. Of course it's me. I'm in the medical world, okay? Let me tell you. Before Wuxia could start bragging, Huashidu hung up. The holidays passed very quickly. Bei Yunj's graduation banquet was set for a week before school started. During this period of time, Bei Yunj went to Lin Longjuan's place and the Qin family very frequently. However, on this day, as soon as Bei Yunj walked in, she heard the sound of porcelain shattering inside. Old Master Qin liked to collect antiques. Even the vases in the living room were worth millions. Bei Yunji's eyelids twitched. She didn't know who had made the old man angry. As soon as she walked in, Bei Yunji saw the handprint on Mrs. Qin's face. Her eyes were filled with tears. Mr. Qin couldn't help but scold him softly. "Dad, how could you hit her? Scram. Get the hell away from me, you bastards." Bei Yunji heard old Master Qin's angry roar from outside. "Tong Yuang, let me tell you, if you have any conscience, you should compensate, or well. Instead of spoiling a stranger who is not related to you by blood like a blind person." Old Man Qin pointed at her angrily. "Let me tell you, if you dare to say another word of nonsense, I will pull out your tongue." This was the first time Mrs. Qin had been slapped by her father-in-law. The men of the Qin family never hit women, but this time, it was obvious that they had crossed Old Man Qin's bottom line. Old Master Qin was so angry that his vision turned black. He turned around and fainted. At this moment, Bei Yunji reacted quickly and ran over to support her. "Grandfather?" Bei Yunji's clear and melodious voice had a hint of nervousness that she didn't notice. "Dad." Mr. Qin also became nervous. "Uncle Lu, get the doctor here quickly." After Bei Yunji finished speaking, the butler hurriedly called the private doctor and helped her to the main seat. Bei Yunji's eyes flashed with anger. She glanced at them and said coldly, "What did you say just now?" A hint of awkwardness and guilt flashed across Mr. Qin's face. End of chapter. Chapter 1194. "Gur, I'm fine." Old Master Qin's weak voice trailed from behind, interrupting Bei Yunji's question. It was obvious that Old Master Qin did not want Bei Yunji to know. However, Mrs. Qin's expression was slightly distorted, and she could not help but laugh coldly. "What did you say? You don't know what you've done?" The atmosphere froze. However, Bei Yunji suddenly licked her lips and chuckled, saying slowly, "That's too much." "You." Mrs. Qin's face turned green. After that, she gritted her teeth and laughed coldly, unable to suppress her anger. "Isn't it because of you? I booked a hotel for more than a month, but no one dared to rent it to me." She did not want Qin Youjiao to lose her reputation, but she did not expect this to happen. And other than that person from the Hua family, who else had the ability to do this? "Bei Yunji, is it that comfortable to set someone up behind their backs? I really didn't expect you to seduce a man at such a young age." Mother Qin's words were full of sarcasm. Bei Yunji could roughly guess that Huashida might have done it. Although she was a little surprised, it seemed to be Huashida's character. "Qin Ting, aren't you going to scram with your wife?" Old Master Qin's expression was already dark as he held his chest and pointed at them. "You want to cut ties with the Qin family, right? Cut it off now and don't come back in this lifetime." "Grandpa, don't be angry first." Bei Yunji moved her eyebrows and rubbed Old Master Qin's temples. After the private doctor arrived and brought him to check, she slowly looked at Mrs. Qin. "Why are you looking for Grandpa?" Bei Yunji asked. Mrs. Qin narrowed her eyes. They were clearly biological mother and daughter, but they seemed to be the most hated enemy. "I want you to cut ties with the Hua family." At this moment, Mrs. Qin raised her chin. "I'm your mother after all. I can't ignore you." Qin Youjiao had told Mrs. Qin this method. If she asked Bei Yunji to plead with Huashidu, Bei Yunji might not do it. However, Old Master Qin cared about his reputation. He wouldn't let his granddaughter have an ambiguous relationship with a man. Bei Yunji rarely encountered such an annoying situation. She sneered. "What's wrong? Are you short of people to burn paper money for you?" She was indirectly mocking Mrs. Qin for not having a good ending after her death. Since Old Master wasn't around, she couldn't even be bothered to brush him off. Mr. Qin's face darkened, as if blaming her for speaking to her mother in such a manner. Mrs. Qin was furious. She rushed forward and raised her hand, wanting to slap Bei Yunji. However, Bei Yunji suddenly grabbed Mother Qin's wrist and looked at her impatiently as if she was a dead person. "You." For the first time, Mother Qin was afraid of the person in front of her. She could feel the hostility in Bei Yunji's eyes. Bei Yunji shook him off. Mrs. Qin fell to the ground in a sorry state. "Bei Yunji." Seeing this, Mr. Qin immediately helped Mrs. Qin up nervously and questioned Bei Yunji angrily. "Don't you think that you're very uneducated by doing this?" "Nothing? Uneducated?" Bei Yunj asked slowly in a good mood. However, Mr. Qin choked. It was only when a round of applause suddenly sounded outside that Mr. Qin regained his senses and saw Qin Lian walking in. His handsome face was calm, but his dark eyes were so dark that it made people tremble in fear. He walked in and stopped in front of Bei Yunj. Why? Is father planning to say that Guer is uneducated? Qin Lian's voice was calm, but it was filled with cold ridicule. Chapter 1195. If she's really ill-mannered, who do you think is to blame for this? Qin Lian's tone was cold. Even Mr. Qin had always been afraid of his eldest son. Qin Lian had always had a weak sense of kinship and treated everyone the same. However, he did not know when he started to care about Bei Yunj. Lian, I was just angry. Guer pushed her mother just now. Mr. Qin muttered. Where did Guer's mother come from? Didn't they break off their relationship long ago? Qin Lian's calm words made Mrs. Qin and Mr. Qin's faces turn red. Lian, I just wanted to seek justice for Jiao Jiao. It was Bei Yunj who caused trouble behind our backs. Mrs. Qin's eyes were red. She did not understand why no one would listen to her when they were all her children. However, she did not dare to speak harshly to Qin Lian. Didn't I tell you clearly? The man took off his gold-rimmed glasses, losing some of his gentleness and elegance. His ink-like eyes were filled with a dangerous aura that was usually hidden. As long as you let Guer down for Qin Youjiao once, I will make sure that Qin Youjiao can't live anymore. Mrs. Qin's eyes were filled with panic. Lian, I didn't think it through. Don't do this. Everyone present could not understand Qin Lian's temper, but they knew that Qin Lian would do what he said and his methods were ruthless. Brother, Grandpa is seeing a doctor on the second floor. Bei Yunj suddenly said. Hearing this, a trace of gentleness appeared in Qin Lian's eyes. Okay, Guer, go upstairs first. I'll go upstairs to see Grandpa soon. The new secretary beside him had also noticed. President Qin really doted on Bei Yunj a lot. Bei Yunj hummed calmly and turned to go upstairs. However, when Qin Lian's eyes swept past Mrs. Qin and Mr. Qin again, there was no warmth. He twirled the thin silver ring between his fingers, making his fingers look as slender as jade, as if they were a pleasing work of art. His tone was still calm. Dad, Mom, since you don't listen to me, I can only let Qin Youjiao know what will happen to her if she uses you as a cover to hurt Guer. With that said, Mrs. Qin's face paled. Mr. Qin immediately shouted, Lian, what do you want? I just want Qin Youjiao to know that she's not worthy of being compared to Guer. The man said unhurriedly and walked upstairs. This scene made the new secretary tremble with fear. Was boss threatening his biological parents for the sake of Miss? In a trance. When the new secretary heard Qin Lian and Bei Yunj talking, her voice was soft and unbelievable. Guer, I really like this ring. Thank you. It happened to be Qin Lian's birthday some time ago, so Bei Yunj also gave him a gift. You're welcome. Bei Yunj nodded. Although the atmosphere was silent and awkward, Qin Lian did not feel it at all. He smiled and looked at Bei Yunj beside him. The secretary. It was too surprising. The boss was actually a siscon. No wonder Qin Lian had been wearing this ring all this while. It turned out that eldest Miss had given it to him. After diagnosing old Master Qin, the doctor heaved a sigh of relief and confirmed that old Master Qin was fine. However, he also warned Bei Yunj and the rest that old Master Qin was old and could not get angry easily. A trace of irritation flashed past Bei Yunj's eyes and she thanked the doctor, saying that there wouldn't be a next time. If there was a next time, she would definitely throw Tong Yueing out personally. Within a few days, Cheng Zihuai also went to the Qin Corporation with a dark expression. Because not only was Qin Youjiao unable to rent a hotel venue, she had also been ordered to withdraw from the International Musicians Association. End of chapter. Chapter 1196. Is there a need? Cheng Zihuai's expression was extremely dark. Young Master Cheng's temper is a little bad now. The man was wearing gold-rimmed glasses and said calmly, Qin Lian, in order to please Bei Yunj, are you so heartless that you want to destroy Youjiao? Cheng Zihuai questioned. Isn't it only right for a brother to coax his sister? The man's unhurried words made Cheng Zihuai even angrier. When Qin Youjiao was in the Qin family, he had not doted on Qin Youjiao so much. The Qin family really only recognizes blood ties and no feelings. Cheng Zihuai gritted his teeth, although he had long disliked Qin Luyan. Even a dog would have more feelings than President Qin, right? Qin Luyan snorted. Young Master Cheng is quite good at praising himself. You. Cheng Zihuai was so angry that he almost lost his rationality. He was really Bei Yunji's biological brother. His words were so infuriating. In the end, Cheng Zihuai left with a dark expression. He could feel the hatred of this young master of the Cheng family from 10 meters away. Over the past few days, the atmosphere in the computing institute had been oppressive. The reason was that Bei Yunji's improved big data technology was very beneficial to the arrest work. Researchers from several countries had a meeting and suggested to push the truth, but it was rejected by Bei Yunji. The reason was that this technology was not only beneficial to the country's arrest work, but also beneficial to illegal elements to obtain some data that was not made public. For example, for so many years, many countries had insisted on protecting the genetic data of their people. Once it was controlled by the enemy, it might lead to the extinction of the entire nation. It was also because of this that Bei Yunji was impatient with this meeting, and was very grumpy. As a result, the other researchers were still unable to calm down from Bei Yunji's scolding. Halfway through the meeting, Bei Yunji asked from the bottom of his heart, "Do you have brains?" This was the first time a group of scientific research elites, who had been called geniuses since they were young, were despised for their intelligence. They almost wanted to fight with Bei Yunji. In the end, when the meeting ended, Bei Yunji also warned everyone. If anyone touched this technology, they would have to bear the consequences. In the office, hearing Bei Yunji insult all the big shots, Si Qingyan was shocked. "Yunji, aren't you going overboard?" Bei Yunji paused. "I'm not scolding them. I'm just asking." Si Qingyan was speechless. "What do you mean by the consequences? Threatening them?" Si Qingyan could not help but ask. Bei Yunji said, "A simple lunatic would blow up the most famous building and cause panic. But a lunatic with a bit of brain can overturn a country, or even the world." Si Qingyan was stunned. "Do you remember a certain virus research institute in K country that accidentally infected wild monkeys with a virus in the jungle?" When Si Qingyan heard that, he recalled the extremely serious infectious disease and felt his hair stand on end. Bei Yunji glanced at him indifferently. "The virus can affect the human body. If we use this technology to obtain genetic samples and synthesize biochemical weapons, we can target different species and exterminate them." Si Qingyan's scalp went numb. No wonder Bei Yunji was so determined. Si Qingyan could not help but ask, "Then why do they want to implement it so much?" Zhong Shenglin walked over and interrupted, "Because Guer's breakthrough is more convenient for them to do scientific research. The world is bustling with activity, and everyone comes and goes for benefits. Besides, they always felt that they had the confidence to control this technology well. They did not take those highly intelligent terrorists seriously." End of chapter. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.